Welcome to Wilson's channel.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Chat with Wilson podcast. I'm your host, Wilson, and today we have a special episode featuring a friend here, Matt, aka Shvmbii. This is episode 24, guys. Welcome in, Matt. How's it going?
I'm doing good. How are you, Wilson?
Hey, I'm happy to be back. It's been a while since I've hosted a podcast, so thank you so much for, taking the time to be here.
Of course. Thank you for having me on. I watched clips from the last podcast, and that was very fun about it because those a couple people were talking about like their lives in EDM and their personal opinions on artists. So it was a really good podcast. You guys should check it out if you haven't yet.
No, I appreciate that. That was definitely the last one I had, episode 23. It was like a very special one because in a sense where it was a group dynamic in a podcast. Because normally I would do like personal one-on-one interviews and have these conversations. But that one was definitely geared towards like EDM in that world, which you know a lot of, and we'll get into that. So
yes, we will.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot to discuss about. But how are you feeling so far? Like right now, just like what's your mood like?
I'm feeling pretty good because I don't know. Today's like one of the longest days I actually started working on like music, like one of my longest sessions, just because I've just been feeling super inspired, and that makes me feel good. But I'm also a little nervous just because of the podcast, but that's just how it is because I haven't been on a podcast before. So,
Ooh, this is your first time? I'm excited.
yeah, my first live podcast. I did a podcast kind of with my friends before, like when we were in college, but
Yeah.
we recorded it and like we never really uploaded it. So it was just like a personal podcast. So not live, not uploaded. So
Yeah. So I must ask before we like officially get started with the introduction and stuff. How comfortable would you say you are? Like, are you on camera? Since you have streamed before.
I would say decently comfortable. Yeah, because I have streamed before, so that's got me. Because before I didn't want to use webcam, but then everyone convinced me, so I was like, okay, sure. It was just more of like a hassle to turn on my camera. But now it's fine. I'm okay with it. So.
And just like
And then
speaking
obviously-
too.
Yeah, speaking. But then now I'm recording videos like on TikTok and Instagram. You know, because social media is a big part of getting known out there. So more has to be comfortable on camera, but then eventually, hopefully, be comfortable on stage because that's where like the real like anxiety will come because like you're playing in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
And then you don't want to mess up when you're mixing live. I mean, you can, but it sucks when you do because then you're just like, oh.
No, I love how you're looking like so far into that already, like the future, especially with like you working on your craft right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, props to you.
So I feel like it's a little bit of imposter syndrome, but it's like you can't help it. But but it's also good because like you're manifesting it. So I don't know. I'm on both sides of that.
All right, we'll definitely get more into that, guys. If you didn't know, Matt here goes by Shvmbii in the EDM world, and he is an EDM producer. So that is a huge topic that I want to get into later on in the episode. But first, we'll start things off with a brief introduction. So feel free to introduce yourself, talk about a little about yourself, like personality, just like your hobbies and interests.
Yeah, so hello, my name is Matthew, or Matt, if you want to call me that, it's easier. Also known as Shvmbii, but what I like to do, so my job right now, I work in IT, so I help schools with their technology stuff, so that could be their laptops, Chromebooks, printers, whatever, all that fun stuff, because I got my degree in information systems, so I wanted to pursue technology, and then as of hobbies, other than doing music and playing games and working, I also like to play a little bit of sports, so with my friends, whenever we're all back together, we like to play volleyball. Volleyball is like one of my favorite sports. Another sport that I'm kind of getting back into with some family and other friends is golf. That's really hard, and I suck at it still. So there's still a lot to learn there. But I just have not a lot of time to do everything just because I want to focus on music first. It is what it is, but you know, you make time for stuff you want to do. And then more about me, I would say I'm a pretty nice guy, pretty open, friendly. A lot of the friends that are girls that I have will say I have a flirtatious personality, which I guess I do, but I don't know.
Oh, good to know. Okay. Might ask you a
Well,
little
I
bit
mean,
more about
listen,
that.
you know a little bit. Like we flirt with all like with the boys. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, with
it's
the
fun to be a
boys, but
little.
like, is that what the girls are talking about, or are they saying that you flirt with
Uh,
girls too?
I do flirt with girls too. Like,
Okay, okay.
obviously, I do it to like a certain point, not like crazily.
Yeah, yeah.
You gotta pay attention to their body language. Make sure they're okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah, what you have questions about that? More questions?
The man with Riz. Okay.
No,
No,
no.
no, I have a general idea of when I will be asking about that stuff. So no worries. I'm keeping notes, by the way. All right, because we're deep diving
Oh,
into your
okay.
life. So I'm
Deep
learning
dive into
so
my
much
life.
about you already. You
I
know,
need to learn more about you too, but maybe
first
that time will
conversation.
can come.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely. If you have random questions like later on, feel free to ask. No worries.
yeah.
Okay, so would
But
you consider yourself more of like an introvert or an extrovert if you had to choose?
oh, definitely extrovert. You can if you ask any of my IRL friends too, I'm always trying to go like out every weekend. I always get like other so that's why like when I started making music, everyone stopped inviting me because they knew I was trying to focus on it. But then
Wow.
inside, that was like, um, it's nice for them to do that, but it was killing me inside because I was like, man, I want to go out more. Because the only time I was gonna go out was like for raves, and obviously I live in Colorado, so that's not like I live in Denver. That's not like a hard thing to do since we are the base capital. We can get into that later, but
Oh
if anyone
shoot.
wants to argue about that, um, but I always want to go out because I love hanging out with my friends, and that's just like a big part of my life. Because my friends are what drives me to be happy as well, other than like music. So, and hanging out with them just gives me a lot of energy. And like, no matter what we're doing, we could go out to eat. We could just be like at a house party. We could just be even playing games sometimes. But that's online, so it's not the same. I don't get their presence. Uh, I would say that also because my one of my personality, not personality, I can't think of the word, but my love types, like
Love
affection,
language? Uh-huh.
love language, yes, thank
Yeah.
you, is physical touch. So I need to be in person with them. That's why it's like when I dap up like the homies or I hug
Yeah.
like my friends, it's just like I'm here with you and like so happy that I'm with you.
Happy sensation. Okay.
Exactly.
So, out of curiosity, so it sounds like you thrive a lot more in group settings. So, what kind of guy are you at like the parties? Like, how would you describe yourself?
I I was still at parties. I'm pretty like mellow. I'm not like I try to talk to new people, but I usually talk to people I know.
Uh-huh.
But it's like I'm not the wild one. Even though I'm very extroverted, I'm not like the wild one who just will like do everything because um especially at like Asian parties, that's most parties I go to. There's a lot of drinking involved. I can't handle my liquor. So like I can't hang with like my other friends because they drink like a shit ton of alcohol, and I'm like 5 shots of soju. Maybe I could do a few more, but after that, I'm like, oh man, I need to chill. I need to slow down.
Is that your go-to soju? Like for
Yeah,
your friend group?
soju. Yeah, I would say soju. Soju. A lot of them also like Tito's or Henny.
Mm-hmm.
Um, those are like the top three though. I would say.
Okay, Tito's and Henny. Out of
Yeah.
curiosity, so what's your ethnicity and your background like?
Uh, I'm Vietnamese,
Oh, Henny,
so
Viet. Okay.
yeah, but it's surprising because like I'm lightweight compared to all my other Viets friends.
Uh huh.
But what's funny you say the Henny and Viet because we had a party for my cousin a couple years ago and the theme of it was anything is possible.
Wow, definitely
It
have
was
heard that pretty often. Love that
yeah,
though.
it is, yeah. Shout out to my cousin. I think he's watching the stream too. So
Oh,
thanks for watching.
yeah. Feel free to shout out your cousin. That's dope.
Yeah, shout out
Family
my cousin.
supporting.
Of course. Um, yeah, I'm Viet, and then I'm 2% French too, cause I don't technically.
Uh huh.
If you guys don't know, a little bit of the past, French did colonize Vietnam. That's why our language, some of our words are similar to words in French. Henny is in our blood. I can only do a little bit of Henny though. Like I said, maybe like 2 shots of Henny, and I'm
Yeah.
ugh,
So the alcohol tolerance isn't there, which is okay because it
not for
sounds
me.
like you
Yeah,
still enjoy being out and everything.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I get like I'm like one of those people who get like high off of just like going out and being with friends. Like that's why it's such a
Yes.
just a thing for me. That's why I don't have to drink that much to like have crazy amount of fun.
Hmm.
Or like I don't know. But other people who like I guess are sober at like raves most of the time like will understand me, I think. Um, or even just out in general, like going out with friends. Obviously, I drink with them because it's like social drinking, and that's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun with me. So
Oh, you feed off of other people's energies. I get that. That's what it sounds like.
yeah, for sure. And even if like their energies are lower, I always bring up the energy.
Hmm.
I feel it. Or I would say, okay, most of the time that's at like shows. But when I'm out with friends still, I still try to bring up the vibe, like I try to talk to everybody, like, hey, come on, blah blah blah. So
Yeah. Okay, so although you thrive within like group settings and stuff, do you also prefer? Would you prefer like having one-on-one hangouts with your friends, or do you just like big
mm.
social settings?
No, I also love hanging out one on one with friends. I started recently doing that with
Mm,
some friends, which is nice because that's when I get to know them on a more personal level, a deeper level as well. Like us right now, even though we're live, I would
yeah.
still say like this is us still getting be able to get deep. But when you're out with like a group of friends, you can't really get as close with some people, just because they don't want to share when there's a certain person around or when there are others around.
True.
So
Yeah.
getting that close connection with that person is just better one on one, and then you guys become even closer, not like with whatever you're doing too.
Hmm. All right, getting to know a little bit about you, like how you are on the outside and everything. So we're gonna go way back right now. Whatever you're comfortable talking about, by the way, just feel free to say. We're gonna talk about. Let's start from your childhood. So way back, right? What
Mhm.
was life like for you growing up? Were you always in Colorado, by the way?
Yeah, so I lived in Colorado my whole life, lived in the same exact house my whole life.
Hmm.
I, from what I can remember, because I think my parents moved here when I was born, or maybe they moved right before I was born. Um, this is the first time I'm trying to think back to it. Um, but yeah, I was one of those kids who grew up like both with and without technology. So I think that's part like important with my childhood. But it's mostly because technically I am Gen Z, but I was a let's just say a happy gift from my parents. Wasn't planned, but it was there.
Oh, that's what you
It
mean.
came
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Yeah. I came about randomly, and it is I've talked to my other brothers about I figured that out in high school, but it's funny cuz like since I was like that, my parents do they said it not me, but my brother said they love me more for that because I was made out of love and not just planned.
Mhm.
Um, but that's that's why I think I would say I'm like more like zillennial because I grew up with my brothers and they're both millennials obviously. So they're all in their 30s now.
Oh,
So
so you're the youngest.
yeah, I'm the youngest.
Mhm.
I'm the baby of the family. But I grew up with them, so I learned like like early on about a bunch of stuff, and I could be like wrong saying that myself, but I would say I have more of a like higher maturity level just because I grew up with my brothers,
Yeah.
and that's that's why I thought that's why I think that at least. I could be wrong, but that's and then when growing up, I also played with like the old time consoles, like the Nintendo 64, the
Nice.
Super
Hmm.
Nintendo, the PS1, the PS2, the original Xbox. So I played all that growing up with because my brothers had them, so my parents bought them that. So I got to play on that too. But then I eventually transitioned to tech, and like, as they got older, they had become adults. I was still in that young phase, but I felt like I was older, but I wasn't. So that's how my childhood was, just
Hmm.
feeling like ahead, but I'm not.
So it sounds like you were like relatively close with your siblings since the age gap was there.
Yeah.
What was like the relationship like with your parents?
The parents, I would say it's like 50-50 because maybe like I'm kind of a little traumatized from it that I don't remember too much of it. But also when I
Oh,
think back to it, Well, it's like I don't know for sure because like it seemed like I had a good relationship with them, but the only thing I didn't like is like them forcing me to go because I'm Catholic,
Yeah.
so them like forcing me to go to church and stuff. That's when I was like when I got annoyed with it because they were so like pushy about it.
Hmm.
But but as I got older, they like stopped doing that. So my relationship with them now is like great, fine. Um, yeah, there's nothing bad I can think about. I mean,
Were
there are
they
times with
like
them.
traditional type of parents? Like, how did they discipline you?
Oh yeah, they were traditional for a while, up until like I got to maybe like fifth grade or something. But yeah, I did get disciplined by like the normal beatings. Not they didn't beat me like crazy though. I remember like
The normal beatings. Okay,
hey
no. Everyone's like a little scarred right now. Everyone knows. Yeah.
yeah,
Asian
but
community.
I would
Mhm.
say it is. I would say this is I guess a controversial thing for me, but I when I think back to it, I was like those beatings actually kind of helped me. But like then again, I wasn't. They didn't hit me that as bad because I
Yeah.
think my oldest brother, um, I think he got the worst of it because he was the
Hmm.
first child. So, uh, which is funny because, like, you know, like since after they moved out, they were like more okay with the parents, both of
Oh,
them.
I
So
see. Yeah,
yeah,
that makes sense.
I,
To live
I
away
wanna
from your parents. Hmm.
yeah. Let me backtrack a little bit to my brothers.
Yeah, go for it.
I would say my relationship with both of them was like okay, but I remember growing up, we and like you know if you have other siblings, you guys know you have like that one like final fight that like ends like all like the angriness at each other. I
Hmm.
remember witnessing that from those two, cause like I don't remember exactly what happened, but my middle brother he just like knocked my older brother like punched him in the face, and then after that they were like more like chill with each other. And then I also had that with my oldest brother because there was a time when I was young and I broke like a car window with a pellet gun.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, yeah. So I didn't. I was when I was friends with like this one of my neighbors across the street, and I get wasn't like the best influence, I guess. Can't really. But that was my fault being anyway because I didn't know there's like a safety on it. So I just shot the gun like at the window, like because we're playing pretend.
Hmm.
And I just shot out the car van, and it broke the window. And I didn't say anything. And then the next morning, my mom was about to go to work, and then they saw it. And then my oldest brother got pissed after he found out. So he did hit me. Like it was, if I think back, it felt hard back then, but it was just funny.
Like
Like
he knew it
when I
was
think
you.
back about it. Yeah, like he knew it was me because I hung out with that guy.
Hmm.
So and then with my middle brother, um, I don't think we had any like the oh wait no yeah the only time we had like we got mad at each other was about games. So
Like it gets competitive
yeah, it gets
type of
competitive,
thing.
but
Yeah.
we never got physical with each other, which is
Hmm.
kind of surprising. So it was only me with my oldest brother, and then my middle brother with my oldest brother. So
Yeah. Y'all took turns with your oldest brother.
yeah,
No, I appreciate the like storytelling and like specific stories to just like kind of know what you dealt with and experienced growing up. So it's
mhm,
really cool for you to share.
yeah.
So out of like just growing up specifically, what would you say was like the biggest challenge for you
Biggest challenge.
as a zillennial? You would say.
Yeah, yeah. I would say this is a pretty uh, basic like for Asian people, but I would say like just pleasing the parents all the time would be like that was like the biggest challenge, just because I knew I had to do well, and they wanted me to do well in school, and obviously I didn't want to disappoint them.
Yeah.
So just keeping the grades up. I never got straight A's, but what was nice about they didn't care too much about that as long as I got like A's or B's. Then they were
Hmm.
happy with that. Most of the time I did get A's and B's. So, but some classes, some things got hard just because being a back then even being a like a I'm American, but like being Asian, just growing up with like the different kinds of people, they didn't like
Yeah. Oh, I
they
see what you mean.
like
Yeah.
Asians. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They didn't like Asians too much, but you know was funny because I got oh it's not a thing about race, but I got a fight with a kid in another kid in 5th grade. Um, main that fight was more about like just I guess ego if I think back about it. So but I can get to that later.
Rather than
But
race,
yeah.
you mean?
So
Like
oh
like
yeah yeah
ego,
yeah
yeah.
yeah. But I can come back to that. But yeah, that's like the biggest challenge is pleasing my parents because they wanted me to do because also like I said they forced me or they made me go to like church and stuff. But also
Mhm.
on Sundays there's a thing called Sunday school, and that was just a lot of work because like you're going to school like 6 days a week, and it's just a lot of like pressure, a lot of work. Just I think I'd be more stressed out if I had to go now, just because you're an adult. But when you're a kid, I guess you have more free time, I guess.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that was like the biggest challenge I would say.
See, like so they had like expectations for you, like for your education and just like
Yeah,
for the church.
yeah, that's all the way up until like I guess up until like college too, because uh when I got to high school, I was like, man, I'm just tired of school. It was so hard because I was taking like honors classes and AP classes, and it was just hard keeping up with everything because I was one of those like uh the students who didn't like try but still did good in high school. I didn't have to try too, other than when I took BC Calc. That's when I actually like had to try, but I didn't. That's why I almost flunked it, but I didn't because I actually like stepped it up at the end of the semester and barely passed.
Mhm.
But up until college, they were like, just get your degree and then you can do whatever you want. So I was like, okay. So that's like we can talk more about that when I because it ties into the music later. For
Oh, I see. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so before we segue, more about your parents. Like, did they specifically want you to do something career-wise, or like study something in particular?
Uh kind of. They just want me to get a good I would say my dad wanted me to be more like a priest. I would or like yeah, a
Oh.
priest because he
Hmm.
yeah, so obviously like when I was growing up, I didn't want to be a priest. I still don't. Uh, but yeah, and that was what he wanted. My mom was like, get like one of those, I guess stereotypical Asian jobs, be a doctor, nurse, uh,
Lawyer.
lawyer, yeah.
Yeah.
But then as I went through high school and college, that like changed, or I would say high school that changed from that perspective of them. So
More
they're like,
open.
okay, just
Hmm.
yeah, more open because they saw how like I was reluctant on those. That's why they're like, okay, just get your 4 year degree, and we'll call it good. So I was like,
As
okay, I'm
long as
even
you're in school, right?
yeah, as long as I'm
Yeah.
in school, I get a degree. So that was like the middle point between
Mm.
us two.
So growing up in Colorado, specifically where you're from, what's like the diversity like?
Diversity.
Yeah.
When
Specifically
I
where you
was
grew up.
yeah, specifically where I grew up. So I went to um, I shouldn't say my school on stream, but so the school I went to, like growing up in K through 8,
Uh-huh.
uh, there was definitely a lot more like white people and Mexican people. Cause a little small history lesson, half of Colorado was like taken by like the Mexicans when like back way back then. That's what, it was all the way from California to half of Colorado. So I think I'm pretty sure that's why a lot of Mexicans are in Colorado as well.
Hmm.
But growing up, there was a good number of Asians that I grew up with. Like if I were to put it percentages wise, maybe I would say like maybe dang, it's so hard to 30% like white, maybe
Hmm.
25 to 30% Mexican. Oh wait, no, more than that. Sorry, like 50% white, 30% Mexican, and maybe 10-15% of Asian, and then the rest were other.
Yeah.
Because yeah, so yeah. Because in high school, there's definitely more white and Mexican, and then there was only like not a select few, but like I said, there was a good number of Asians still, and then like the biggest minority was black people. There wasn't that many at my school, any of my schools growing up. So
Okay. So about school though, it sounds like you did pretty decent like academically. What were you involved in and like what kind of kid were you known to be?
when I was at the beginning of elementary school, like 1st grade to 3rd grade, other than school, after school, or no, before school, we did a thing called tumbling teddies, and that was just like gymnastics thing.
Yeah.
So did I go until fifth grade with that? I don't remember. I don't
Tumbling.
remember.
Wow.
Yeah, tumbling gymnastics. So uh, I got all the way to the highest level, and that's why I would say like it helped me now because like working out and stuff. But back then I was very flexible and I stayed flexible, doing like stretches and workouts, and like those you know how gymnastics they do like crazy moves. I didn't do anything super crazy. I think the most I did, which I lost the skill of, was like doing a backflip
Oh shoot.
because
As a kid,
I
yeah.
did it. Yeah, as a kid, I did it with like help because they like used their hand to help me like flip over more.
Uh-huh.
But I haven't tried it since then. But I could still do like a back handspring, a one-handed cartwheel. Um, but yeah, that was like the early elementary school days, and then I remember I got honor roll a couple years, which is like all A's and B's, and then after that, let's say when I got to middle school, I remember I played basketball in seventh grade. I wasn't very good because I tried out in high school and I was not as good as any of the other kids
Hmm.
or other my other friends, and obviously they got on the team. I didn't. I got cut. Uh, but yeah, other than that, I didn't do much extracurricular stuff after that. I liked being physical and doing stuff, but I wasn't good enough to be on any teams.
Oh, okay, so you were basically in shape and you did like enjoy these, but then you only
Hmm.
got to a certain level.
Yeah, I was pretty. I would say average at everything, which
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like it's always been a talk if that's like a bad thing or a good thing. Just cause like you never excelled in anything, but then you also didn't do bad in anything.
Yeah.
So that's always 50-50 on which how you think about it.
Were you what was like your I guess comparison like height compared to everyone else, especially
Oh yeah,
basketball?
I'm very short. I'm only 5'5", but
Hmm.
still growing up, I was like the shortest kid in the class like every year, up until like maybe high school. That's when I saw there's other like a lot other of others kids like that were as short as me or shorter, but I was still like in the you know
Okay,
small
I see.
small people club. Yeah, yeah. So
So
five
what
five, that's not very tall.
so what was your reputation then? Would you say like overall, like if you say by your peers, classmates?
Classmates. I'll just talk about from high school just because like that's like the most memorable.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like I think a lot of people call it like floaters or like homie hoppers, but I was good friends with mostly everyone.
Floater sounds better.
Yeah, floater.
Yeah.
But like it's because like I didn't have any bad will against like people.
Yeah,
Um,
or main.
oh, yeah, so I was just like nice with everybody because you know they had there was like other than like them being like a little slightly like racist, like I didn't care too much.
Hmm.
Uh, but they like because there's like those nicknames that you call people for Asians sometimes, and that didn't bother me too much because I don't know. I just want to not care as too much because they're just words.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I was good friends with everybody and most people, not everyone, most people. So I was they would just like say I was just a nice person. So not like super high, but just average,
But
like
were
I
you
said.
still very sociable then, or like a little more extroverted
Yeah.
then?
Yeah. Still then, because that's obviously you go to school every day.
Yeah.
Uh, I talk. That's why I was talking to multiple people. It's just because I have obviously had my main group of friends I hang out with, but I wasn't like opposed to talking to like these other people.
Okay, open-minded. So you did
Yeah.
mention a little bit about racism specifically. Have were you ever
Mm.
bullied in school?
Mm, not really. Not for my race. I don't think I was more bullied, or people more called me like more were more mean about me being short, which was
Oh, I
like I
see.
guess yeah, which like that I didn't care about too much. I wish I was taller, but nothing I can do about that.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think when it comes to racism from like for the Asian to me, uh, I think the worst I got called was like, you know, the word chink, but
Yes. Yeah.
so that doesn't affect me. So that's why people like stopped calling me it.
Mhm.
Because yeah, it's
So,
funny because like when I was
uh,
working in high school, I worked at Best Buy, and obviously like customer service is a big thing. But there's customers who aren't always like nice and stuff. So I've had rude customers call me that before too, and I just laugh it off. It's just because like I've been called that like a little bit growing up my whole life, but it doesn't affect me. I know for other people it could affect you, which I understand why. So, but I just try to ignore it too.
got it. So, do you want to lead with the conversation you're holding where you got into a fight with someone? I guess
Oh
since
yeah,
yeah, since we're talking about school.
yeah, that's right. So in fifth grade, I'm not gonna say his name, so let's just say I don't know, this guy.
Yeah,
This
this guy.
guy, we had decided like we were friends at one point, but then I became friends with a different guy, and he became friends with a different guy, and it was just more of an ego thing. Whenever like we were in school, it was always a competition about stuff. But then it was at recess. I don't remember what led up to these events, but all I remember is I was at recess one time, and we were playing like football. So obviously in like elementary school, you don't tackle. So it's like two hand touch. We played two hand touch football, and all I remember was like he, I said he pushed me, and I just said do it again, watch what happens, and I started walking back towards like the field with like the players and everything. He pushed me again, and then I stopped. I turned around and I swung on him, and we just fought from there. It was just because I got really angry at him, and he didn't
Yeah.
like me after a certain point. I will say I won that fight though. Because at that time too. Oh, I did. I guess forgot to mention this. Because at that time I was learning Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. I totally
Oh
forgot it.
dang. Okay.
Yeah, so I was learning Brazilian Jiu Jitsu for like a year and a half, um, up until that point. And yeah, he didn't know how to fight, so I smoked him. But after that, it was all good. And then, it was funny because we also met up in eighth grade. So what, 3 years later, we went to different schools and stuff, but we saw each other again at a rec center when both our schools were visiting, and we talked it out. And it was just like it was so long ago, so no bad blood or anything.
Nice. Okay. Happy story at the end
Yeah,
of it.
yeah, I guess so. But that did lead me to when I got back to college, I did end up fighting again, like sparring again and learning how to fight. So I do know how to fight a little bit.
Like in jujitsu specifically.
Like MMA in general. So like if you watch
Mhm.
UFC, I learned a lot of like those kind of moves and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Oh wow. Like you went to like a private gym or set or something.
no, I didn't have the money to do that. So my friend and I, we just both got into it, and at our college gym, we there was like a bag, so like we'd practice before and after class, just like either spar or practice like on the bag with like moves we learned. So we go on YouTube and we watch like fights, or we watch like tutorial videos because everything's on
Oh,
YouTube
so it's
now.
self-learned stuff.
Yeah, self-taught,
Yeah.
but it was still applied because we were testing it on each other.
Yeah. You're
And
putting in the work.
yeah, yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah.
Nice. That's good to keep busy too.
Hmm.
Do you want to talk about how you decided to go with your specific college and your like that career path?
Yeah. So when I was in high school, I didn't know for sure what I wanted to do in college. Uh, all I know is all I knew was I wanted to do like business at the time. But then like I know about business. It's like it's not like worth a degree to get. But then I was talking to people. Like as I got to college, I still was a business undeclared. But then I was talking to people and talking to people. And since I was already working at Best Buy, I got more information about technology. I love technology, so I got more information about like how to combine business and technology.
Mhm.
So that's how there was a degree at my school called information systems, and that combined the two. But it was more on the side of like information technology than it was like business. I would like the classes I wanted to choose for like electives and such,
Yeah.
because I learned about like coding, a little bit of software developing, and all that, and Tableau stuff. But I hate coding.
Nice.
Never want to do that again.
How did you
Mhm.
specifically choose that school that you went to?
Oh, right. My dad works at a school called so there's a branch of schools in Colorado called CU, which is uh or UC, University of Colorado, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
There's Denver and Shoots. He worked at one of the schools, or he still does, and I just want cause and when you're an employee, you get tuition benefits.
Oh, that's
So I was
cool.
like,
Okay.
okay, I might as well go to CU school. I wanted to go to CU school anyway,
Mhm.
so I went to CU Denver, which is downtown, University of Colorado Denver, if anyone was wondering. Um, and that was, I was like so worried, but I knew they were a pretty high accepting school, but that was the only school I applied to when that was like my senior year, because that's the only school I really like would have gone to get a degree, and but they accepted me, so that's how I got in, and that's why I chose it. Cause their business school was like one of the best ones. That's why I wanted to get into business. In Colorado, that was one of the top schools.
Mhm. So, how'd that whole college experience go for you? Like, what was that life like?
The first semester was fun because they do this thing called the block party, and that's where they block off a section of the street because it's downtown, and then all the vendors from the different like colleges, no, the colleges within the school, so like arts and media, business, all that such. They'd like do like booths, and like you go around and you can obviously meet new people that then you get free stuff. So that was really fun. But then the next semester, that's when for me it was 2020 hit. And we all know that's COVID when
COVID,
COVID
yeah.
started here. So after that, it was so weird because it was March 2020, and like I was like, that's when I got like so bored because like I'm not hanging out with people. So like that college experience for like that next year was so terrible just because I couldn't talk to people, and then all the classes were like online to
Online,
Zoom.
yeah.
Yeah, Zoom was the worst part, but that influenced me to take the rest of my classes like online because that gave me more time to do what I wanted to do. From there, after like the COVID, after people they allowed people to start going back to class on campus, I still chose classes if I could online, not through the Zoom way, but just like uh, electronically, where you'd watch lectures and stuff, because that made it easier for me.
So that's class wise. Were you like when you were in school, like physically, did
Oh
you
yeah.
like join any clubs or anything or just get involved?
No, yeah. I think back, I feel like I should have,
Mm.
but they also costed money at the time, and I didn't want to spend money doing clubs or activities. So that's why my friend and I, that's when we started doing like our fighting thing.
Oh yeah,
Because like
yeah.
we thought about joining, there was like a karate club, I think, but we didn't want to just do karate either. We want to do all of martial arts, so mixed martial arts, and that's why we just passed opportunity on clubs. But now that I'm like here, I feel like I should have done like some other clubs. But I didn't have interest in like what I am interested in back then, other
Yeah,
than like some things. But
right.
yeah, like volleyball was a big thing. Volleyball was like a regret I could have done, or like uh, it was like maybe flag football because I just started getting into flag football this year because I'm doing fantasy with my friends and we gambled on it. So the Wilson fan club.
Okay, Derpy. All right.
Oh, there is a Wilson fan club already. It's everyone in here.
Thanks, man. Thanks. All
Yeah.
right. So that's some background with your college life experiences. Sounds like you were just like living that commuter life, in and
Yeah,
out of classes,
commuting.
basically.
Yeah, I didn't do anything crazy. I worked on campus, so only started going to campus for work from that point on,
Oh,
since I quit Best Buy.
oh,
Yeah.
that's perfect. I was gonna ask you about your job history too. So if you want to just start
Mhm.
from like the first one, talk a little bit about what you learned from it, and then how you kind of moved on to the next up until where you're at today.
Okay. So my first one, I was getting paid under the table with my uncle, and that was a lawn mowing business. When I was in high school, it was like sophomore to junior year, I had to leave that after like 1 year because I'm like not deadly, but very allergic to grass.
Oh no.
So I get like really itchy, and it's bad because like, I remember this one day was one of the first days. Like you wear gloves when you're lawn mowing and stuff to help protect you. Um, but I was mowing, but then I remember my neck started to get itchy, and then my arms. But I forgot to take off the gloves, and I was just itching, so it made it worse. So like the rest of that weekend, I was just like itching, and it was terrible. But that's why I left. I left that. I couldn't work with my uncle another year. So, but he
Yeah.
sold that company away, which was good for him. So I was like, yeah, I need to find a job. My, oh yeah, my parents were reluctant about me finding a job too because they said you should focus on school. Just backtracking
Yeah.
to
You
that.
started early.
Yeah, so it was high school,
Hmm.
but yeah, sophomore year. But they were like okay with it, me working with my uncle because it's my uncle.
Yeah.
Uh, but then after that, as after I left, I stopped working with him. I was like, I need to find a job. So that one of my close friends from high school, he worked at Best Buy, and he's like, yeah, you should just apply here because the seasonal was starting up. Like it was a couple months before like Thanksgiving to Christmas, and that's like the seasonal time to like when a lot of companies start hiring
Hmm.
part time employees. So that's when I applied and I got the job. And then that's when I got like after the like seasonal, I was a as they said that was a good like sales consultant at Best Buy. So they hired me on, and I was a permanent sales consultant guy in the PCs department. I know they do it differently now, but I worked there for 3 years, so from 2017 to 2020.
Dang.
Yeah,
3 years. Best Buy.
yeah, yeah. So the discounts were really nice though. So any insignia brand. So if you guys want like stuff for cheap, if your friend works at Best Buy, tell them to get you something insignia, because that's the Best Buy brand. It's crazy discount. I forgot how much it is, but like a $25 charger, it goes down to like $3 to $5. It's crazy
Holy
discount.
crap. That,
Yeah,
yeah, it's huge for that brand.
but yeah. So that discount was like big. The only discounts you don't get are on Apple products because they're Apple and you don't work at Apple.
Hmm.
So that's just them being greedy. But uh,
3 years.
after, but yeah, 3 years. So and why I left that was because after the first year they did give me a pay raise, like 'cause annual you're supposed to annually get raises, but the next year they didn't. And then I talked to them like, oh, we looked into it already. It said like you had your evaluation already and you didn't get anything. I was like, I never talked to anybody. So then the third year rolled around. That's when I started college, and I was like, man, I need to get out of here.
Mm.
So like the first semester of college is when I started applying to other jobs,
Yeah.
and that's when I found that I forgot that like colleges do like work study. So I applied for a work study job, and I got it. So then I quit Best Buy, but I quit at the time where COVID started to come up. So I started working at a new job like it was a month in, and
Mm.
then boom, COVID lockdown happened. So
Wait, was
and then
COVID like your first year of college or what?
yeah, technically
Oh,
my first
okay.
year, it came the second semester
Yeah,
though.
yeah. The spring. Got it.
Yeah, yeah. So spring of 2020, and then up until pretty much not until the fall of 2021. So a year and a half later is when they started opening classes back up. After yeah, but I still worked that same job because it was nice. I in hindsight at the time I should have tried to get a work study job more
Hmm.
towards like IT because that's what I was going for after I decided on my major. But that's okay. Um, got a job in IT now, which is fine. But from that transition, obviously it's work study. So when you graduate college, you're not. They don't let you work there anymore on work study. So
Yeah.
after I graduated and then I had to find a new job. So it took. I was kind of lucky. It took so I graduated in May. That's when I stopped working. So June, July, 2 months, and then I found this job. I've been working here for a year now. So yeah, I got lucky. I would say that
Hmm.
I found this job like that quick because I know from my other friends it's taking them like a lot longer, which I like feel bad.
Did you just wait? So you graduated like last year and then you started applying? to like random
Yeah,
jobs and got
yeah,
this? Mm.
yeah. So I graduated May 2023, and then I started applying like a month before I graduated because I was like, oh shoot, I need to start like applying
Yeah.
because
Waste
like
no time.
yeah, but obviously I didn't have the job lined up right after, which is fine because I started in July anyway. Because yeah, as I got the job, like they called me in June, some way like like the end of June, then a couple interviews, and then I got it.
How are you liking your current job now?
You know, it's now it's getting
That
like
sigh.
to be tedious.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the first the first couple months it was okay, cause then I was like, cause uh just I'm gonna track a little bit forward. I wasn't like focused on music yet, so that's when I was focusing on trying to get better in IT, trying to like study for certificates and
Mhm.
do those tests. But after a couple months in, I just got like tired of the job, and I was just like working on it, cause I think it's probably because I'm in education that I just want to get out of IT and education. I'd rather go to corporate.
Yeah.
So by now, it's just like a lot of tedious work, and I want a job that's like more work from home now, where I can just like stay home like at least like 4 days, maybe five, all five, if possible, while I'm like on this journey. But we'll see.
Okay. Yeah, it's only been a year, so I guess yeah, like you said, you'll see what you want to do moving
Hmm.
forward.
Yeah.
All right.
What about
What's
you
up?
though? Because I know you had like you were working a job for a while, and then something happened. You got laid off, I think you said, and then
Okay. You're talking about the recent one.
yeah.
Yeah, with that, so I actually worked with my company initially in 2018.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it goes way back to 2018. And the thing is, I jumped uh through different teams. So the company is really big, so there's a lot of different like jobs in general throughout the world. So I switched teams for the first time in 2019. So that was team number 2. And then again, I switched. Wait, so it's actually 18. No, 18 is the first switch, and then 19 is the second switch. And then COVID hit, and that's when I started working remotely, which was so nice to work remote for like over 3 years. Like I got so used to it. And then I was sent back into the office late a year ago actually. And then the layoffs happened by the summer of this year. So then from that point
Oh,
on, I was kind of like just scrambling, just trying to find something else. Luckily, I am still within the company because I just found another team to go to, but it's like very different from what I worked on beforehand. So beforehand was like relative to Google Maps, and now it's like I'm in the healthcare sector, so I'm just training right now. But it is fully
okay,
remote, so that's new.
that's
Like I'm
nice.
back on that remote life, but it's just like a whole different experience of training
Yeah,
too.
I want that. Have a full remote.
Yeah, I guess it really depends on what type of remote job you do. Because if it's like, because I'm gonna be doing something that's constantly communicating with people, so
Hmm.
yeah, we'll see how I deal with that.
Yeah, that's fair. I'd like. Well, so do you want to like? I know for now you're doing the streaming like on the side as like a hobby, but is it something you want to turn into like a permanent job in the future?
Oh, dude, the stream life. I'm about to talk to you about that too, about your journey and stuff with streaming.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you ask me, like my streaming it started in COVID, like during 2021, right? So I dabbled into it, and then I actually picked it up and got serious with it. Well, when I say serious, it means I committed more time with it, but I didn't have like
Hmm.
intentions to like make it into a career or anything. I was just like heavily involved with it by late 2021. And then 2022 was like the huge like leap year of actually being so like immersed with like the Twitch world, starting meeting everyone like throughout that year. And then
Yeah.
I think between 22 and 23 is where like my streaming interest peaked, and then it kind of like steadily declined. So even
Mm.
like in 2024, it was like probably my least active year thus far. And it has
Oh
a
yeah.
lot to do with like just like changing hobbies, like with like rating and stuff, and just like kind of like
Oh
a shift in interest. But it's still like cool right now because I still keep in contact with like a lot of friends. The difference is that I don't have like a set goal for it anymore. It's just literally to keep in touch with friends and to potentially still meet new people, but just at like a lower rate. And just to like keep myself busy too, because it is still fun to a certain degree.
Okay.
Yeah. So like although you haven't I would say you're not as active like compared to a lot of people. Cause like I
Yeah.
would know because I'm not as active, right? And when I
Hmm.
was, it didn't seem like you were there like as often. So like I'm
Yeah.
on that like steady decline as well, but it's so cool to see people.
Yeah. I try to hop back into like other like friend streams like
Yeah.
from time to time when I'm on Twitch. But I'm usually not on Twitch as much anymore.
Yeah, understandable. And so, yeah, with that being said, we're going to talk about social media and everything. Um aside from Twitch, we'll put that off till the last part. What platforms are you currently active on right now?
So right now I'm active on TikTok and Instagram. I'm slowly getting into Twitter. Um, I don't know if this counts as social media, but it's SoundCloud. But I don't think that's just music. So, but mainly it's TikTok and Instagram. Twitter X soon.
Yeah, do you want to tell everyone what you do on those platforms at least or what you post?
Yeah. So I pose. For so far, what I've posted is like the beginning of my videos were like my journey getting back into music and slowly like learning a little bit as I showed my small progression. But then I stopped with that a little bit, and then I started posting more mixing videos. So and then I started posting a little like small tutorial videos, like just not like tutorial, but like just like a breakdown of a track I did. And then my upcoming videos will be more mixes, like mini mixes, like drops and stuff, and then more teasers for songs, obviously.
Okay, and then man, I feel like a lot of your social media presence does have to do with you being a producer. So we'll probably like get into that real soon, right after the Twitch topic. But talk
Mhm.
about your journey on Twitch so far. Like, what has it been like, and where is it at right now?
Yeah, so I actually started Twitch in high school as well. I wasn't sure we were gonna talk about Twitch, so I didn't
Mhm.
bring it up. But at the beginning of my senior year, my friends and I formed this gaming group called Fierce Gaming. That's why my old tag on Twitch used to be FG because that's what it stands for, Fierce
Oh,
Gaming.
didn't know
Yeah,
that. That's so cool to
yeah,
know after all these years. Yeah.
yeah. So that's when got like we were like, okay, we're pretty good at these games. Let's start to play competitively. And that was Fortnite, Black Ops 4. Was there anything else? I'm not. For me, it was those two games. There's other games that my other friends
Mm.
um played and got good at, like I think Siege, Rocket League, potentially.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Um,
A lot of different
yeah,
games.
yeah, but I was good at Fortnite at the time and Black Ops 4. But that's when I started streaming, and at the time, Facebook streaming was new, so I started there.
Oh.
And yeah, I started there, and it was like okay, because like, my other friend was streaming on Twitch at the time, or not on Twitch, on Facebook at the time. That's why I decided to do Facebook. But then eventually, like this Facebook thing's okay, so we switched over to Twitch, and after we graduated, we no, yeah, after we graduated, we like stopped playing. So that was like the end of my first Twitch career, I would say. My first like I don't know what to call it, like
Your
bump.
first shot at like just
My
getting
yeah, my
into,
first
yeah.
shot.
So it was
My first shot
because
at
of your
Twitch.
high school friends and FG.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Because of that. And we wanted to show like our skills like on stream, like how good we were. And I will say we were like mediocre. When we were playing in public lobbies, we were like destroying people. But
uh,
then we actually played competitive. We played in like tournaments. I forgot what the website was called. But that's when we were like, okay, everyone here is actually really good. So we were like mediocre compared to them.
mhm.
I think that's probably why we quit. But then there was also some falling outs with some friends of the group.
Like as college started.
No, more like they got into bad beef with each other. I forgot exactly what happened, but I think they're all okay now. 'Cause I still talk to some of them sometimes.
Yeah. Oh,
So
but how long did that go on for? Like your first rodeo with Twitch?
yeah, it was from like August 2018 to like May 2019.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, because at the time, that's when I actually built my gaming computer, my first gaming computer, which is one I still have now. I'll
Mm.
be upgrading it soon. But I built that, and then when we started the clan, I bought an Elgato as well, so I could stream off my Xbox because I was an Xbox player, and that's how it all started. So it was easy, like setting that up. And I didn't do a face cam just because I was streaming on Xbox, so it was just hard to set that all up too. Um, and I didn't have one. Uh, or did I? Wait, I think I did. I think that's why I still have that. I have an old camera,
Hmm.
so. But yeah, how long that lasted. And then fast forward, I was on Twitch from that point on, like just watching, just people every
Like
now
as
and
a
then.
viewer.
Yeah, as a viewer.
Yeah.
And then, right as we got to the end of COVID, or around the end of COVID, which was like 2021, summer of 2021, I got back into it because I found, oh, yeah, I found a streamer as I was in my friend's Discord, and they met. That's when they met Eileen. If anyone, Crescents, if anyone
Oh, there you
knows
go.
her.
The
Yeah,
backstory. Yes.
she was
Mutual
she was
friends.
she was in that Discord, and then they had notifications for her that she went live. They
Mm.
weren't friends with her at all, like at all. They just met her on Valorant,
Yeah.
and um, I clicked on it, and I started watching Eileen. I was like, oh, okay, she's pretty cool. So I started watching her more and more. I started becoming more of a like an active viewer, and
Mm.
that's how I started to meet everyone else, like Jacob, you, Crystal, uh,
Lynn.
Lowy,
Oh,
yeah,
Lowy too. Wow.
Ari,
Yeah.
yeah, Lowy, Ari, pretty much everyone I met at Head in the Clouds. So, and if you're here in the chat, hello. Um,
Hello, everybody. Yeah.
so that's when I got back into Twitch like actively, and then they were like, "You should just start streaming for fun." I was like, "I can," and then I did for I don't remember how long it was. I did for a couple months,
Mm-hmm.
or like maybe like a year, because I started maybe at the end of 2021 or the beginning of 22. But up until like after Head in the Clouds 2022, that's when I met all everyone I met. It was everyone. Hein, Crystal,
Like your first meetup, IRL.
yeah, because that's what my first time going to Cali.
Yeah.
So I was like, I met all my online Twitch friends, which was really fun because I felt bad because I went with my cousin I talked about earlier with our group, but I felt bad because I was like I went with them, but then I went to go hang out with like the Twitch online friends. But then my cousin
Mm-hmm.
was like, "It's okay, you're not gonna see them that often, so just hang out
Oh,
with them."
they're
So I was like,
understanding.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So thank you for that. But that's how I met all of them, and it was really cool. It was fun. Um, had vibed out to like Keshi and all the other artists performing.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna meet you there, but you ended up not going.
Yeah. I know. Unfortunate. It's okay. We will have
Yeah,
our meetup eventually.
yeah. Eh, If we go to Decadence, Colorado,
You're going?
we can talk about that. Yeah,
Okay, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Let's save that.
yeah,
We'll save the
well,
juicy
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Um, your meetup though. I want
Yes,
to talk a little bit more about your meetup. So
with all the Twitch friends.
yeah. So you
Yeah.
got back into it in 2021. You met Eileen,
Hmm.
so that was kind of like she became like a gateway of like meeting more and more
Yeah,
people. And then you dabbled into streaming a little bit, right?
yeah. Cause like she is like, oh, you should start streaming, and then she was like, she just convinced me. So I was like,
Just
okay,
like
for fun.
random games on the PC, or like what were you into?
Uh, I started with Valorant because that's what I was good at when I
Mhm.
started. So I was playing Valorant before. When did it release? Like I think it released during. I know it was during COVID, but you
Like
had to
2020, yeah.
watch. Yeah, you had to watch the Twitch and get the drop for it. Sorry. Um, And I got the drop for it, so I started playing that because I was really good. Okay, I was decent at CS:GO.
Yeah, yeah.
That was like the game before Valorant. So I got to like Gold Nova 2 or something, which I don't know what equivalent that is in Valorant anymore. But I
Mhm.
switched over. Um, and I hated it. I hated Valorant just because it was like CS:GO's a competitor and I love CS:GO. But then it was just very two different games, so then I just started not caring. But
And it
I
was
played
fun with
that.
friends, right?
Yeah, it was fun with
It
friends because
was,
everyone started playing it because it was
yeah.
like it was easier to learn than CS:GO, but it was also like still fun and like had the that slight competitiveness to it.
Hmm.
Hi, and we will race someday. Um, but yeah, so I and then I started streaming that because I was playing with that with my friends. Um, from October 2021, I joined a different friend group Discord. Um, and I started playing Valorant with them more, and we started climbing together. But then I started streaming with them. Obviously, I talked to them before, like they were okay with it. So streamed with them. Sometimes I streamed with like other people like Eileen
Mm.
or I remember I played with I don't know if you know Jeremiah, but she's in Eileen's chat. Um, Played with a couple different other streamer friends, and then obviously I played in the tournaments. I filled in for one of your tournaments for I think it was for Giles because he got like sick or something, and I filled in for your tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was like when that's how I got to meet. I think got to meet you was like that tournament was like the gateway because
Oh,
Eileen, yeah,
okay.
Eileen told me about the tournament, or I heard about the tournament from Crystal, because I met Crystal through Eileen, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. And that's I got to you, and then I joined one of your other tournaments like later on,
Mm.
and then it was fun. I was doing like everything on Twitch. I wasn't just streaming because I was just helping out other communities too. Because with Crystal's tournament, she did that all girls tournament,
Yeah, yeah.
and I was like the cameraman for that, like doing the panning and stuff and
Hmm.
watching spectate. Yeah, so that was also fun. So
Dang, this is a
and then
blast from the past. Like all this, the
yeah, I know.
details.
Yeah, it's crazy because this was what 2 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
So
To show like
yeah,
how involved you were with Twitch and everything.
yeah,
Mm.
because it was like really fun at the time. Just like
Agreed.
yeah, just because it was like I didn't have to work. I mean, I worked at the school, but like all the streaming stuff was like at night.
Yeah.
So it was just fun. And then whenever the tournaments were on the weekend, so it was just overall just really fun. And then yeah, like after Head in the Clouds, a couple months after, like getting close to December, like Christmas time, that's when I stopped streaming. But I'm pretty sure it was like right after I got back from Head in the Clouds, I was like, I'm gonna slow down on streaming. But then that's when I noticed some other people started to stop as well. But during all of 2023, I didn't stream at all. And then a couple people were like in and out streaming because
Hmm.
Eileen started out to also start to go inactive. Um, I don't remember who else, but I remember I think you were still streaming. Ari, Crystal started to stop streaming as well. I think she's done completely. Yeah, those are like the top off my head, who I can think of.
So
But that's
you
when I
you
started
just
decline.
you just had like a switch flip after Head in the Clouds? Like what made you kind of just stray away from streaming? Was it mainly because your friends stopped or like was there a specific reason for you?
Um, I think that for it was mainly because of me, but it was just because I wasn't having because I did do a little bit after in the clouds, but I started to not have as much fun with it.
Yeah.
So I was starting to like lose like that dopamine from like streaming and being
Hmm.
on Twitch. So that's when I started to slowly stop and slow down. I
I
think so
see.
that would be the reason. Yeah, because when I first started, I was nervous, but I had all that like hype from like all the friends, like yeah, you should, blah
Friends
blah.
involved,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it was fun streaming and playing with friends and doing all the tournaments. But then I think it started to slow down like at the end of 2023, like I said. So
Hmm.
that's why I was just like, okay, I'll just chill. So I'll just be a viewer in people's chats now and just say hi to everybody. Um, but then I eventually like 2023 hit, finishing college. I was slowed down even more, and then I stopped logging onto Twitch.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's like the downfall
The
of Shvmbii on
decline.
streaming. Yeah,
No,
the
I
decline of.
understand. Like your priorities changed, and
Mhm.
I don't know. Like I guess for some people, they kind of just grew out of it, or it just their interest just like dwindled over time. You know, you kind of phase out of
Mhm.
it. You just realize like, okay, I had a fair share amount of time in this, and it's just like time to
Mhm.
move on or something. And then it just
Mhm.
affects your friends slowly and slowly, like some
Yeah.
sort of virus or something. I noticed that. You notice when people don't stream as much anymore, especially if they're within your community.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So,
Mhm.
but that's happened to that happens to me a lot. I think it's because I'm so like average at everything. That's part of like, at least I believe, that's part of like why I start to decline. Obviously, the only thing, um, I'll get a lot into it later, but like with music, it came and go, it came and went as well. But
Oh,
talk about that soon.
yeah.
Yeah, but it was funny cause like during that time of 2022 as well, when I was big in the Twitch scene,
Mm.
um, with everyone, that was actually like my slow down break year from like EDM. That's why I
Okay.
decided to head. Yeah, that's why I
Yeah.
decided to go to Head in the Clouds in the first place, because uh, I got into yeah, because like everyone was going, so I was like, man, I'm gonna get FOMO if I don't go, so I just
Mm.
sent it, and then yeah, that's when I started to decline a little bit just to take a break, and then that's when I actually got into K-pop. So that's why yeah,
Nice.
that's why I went to that deep hole. So it was like uh Twice, Blackpink, BTS, some Gen 2. That's when the Gen 4s were starting to pop up, like New Jeans, Little Seraphim. No, Little Seraphim was 23. But yeah, uh I jumped into that K-pop hole,
Uh,
and then I loved it for like the whole year, and then next year 2023 is when I slowed down on K-pop again. So,
okay. That's what you mean by like it comes and go in waves, like whatever like you're interested in. Could be
yeah.
music. Mm.
hmm Yeah, same thing with like what I was talking about earlier, like these sports, like it's like volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
That's talking about how that's one of my favorite sports. It came and go it comes and goes. Um, like since like the past 2.5 years, because I started hanging out with like this this friend group that I play games with most of the time, and they liked playing volleyball, so they invited me out. And but it's I think it just goes because like there's because one of them is still going to school out of state,
Yeah.
so he comes back every like break. But it comes and that's the reason why that comes and goes.
Okay,
But
so it's influence with like your friend groups, basically, like the
yeah,
things you do,
yeah,
the
influence
hobbies.
with friends too.
Mm.
Yeah, the only thing was the Twitch thing. I did see other people decline, so I guess that could have helped influence me. But I also did like, that's
Yeah.
probably why I wasn't like as happy too. Now, if I think about it, just because I saw everyone else like slow down.
Okay, so since you've navigated around Twitch as both a streamer and a viewer yourself, what would you
hmm
say was like the the downside of Twitch? Like the challenging aspects or just like things that you didn't like about it? Cuz everyone for the most part have very similar like good things about Twitch, the pros, right? You make connections, friends, it's like fun streaming, like playing games, but like talk about the downside.
I think the downside of it, it would have it's just relates to social media in general, but I feel like sometimes you have to be careful like what you say too, even if it's something like really small. Um, something could someone could take like big offense to it, which I completely understand. And I think that's one of the things like you're more filtering yourself.
Mhm.
That's not the biggest issue. I think the biggest issue is like when starts to become like a chore for you to
A
go.
job, yeah.
Yeah, like a job. Like if you're not uh having fun with it anymore and you just keep doing it. I think that's the downside of it. Especially when you're a smaller streamer, you're not like one of the big streamers uh like offline TV streamers or like Kai Cenat. If you're not making a
Yeah.
lot of money from it, then it's like you have no if you're not happy anymore, you have no real incentive to keep doing it except you're doing it to like you feel like you need to because of like the viewers you do have, which like you appreciate them, but it's like, you know, there's no big incentive. I think that's like a thing that gets to people's heads
Kind of like the
until like
long
they
run.
finally, yeah, the long run of it. Because
Mm.
if it gets to you after a while, if like you don't start to get like more followers or viewers, you start to be like, I think subconsciously sometimes start to think like, oh, this can't be turned into something yet. So it's like, dang, you know, so you lose a little bit of motivation.
Yeah. Did that get to you too? Specifically, those details?
Not for Twitch, not for
Okay.
streaming. So, because I knew I was doing it for fun, and I knew I wasn't gonna turn it into anything.
Yeah.
So that, yeah, the reason it's just I had fun doing it. That's why I wanted to start. Not because I wanted to blow up or because I wanted to do it for the rest of my life. At one point I did, which was when I started gaming back then competitively. I wanted to be like I guess like a tens. Start playing competitively, but also stream.
Yeah.
But then I knew that was like I wasn't good enough to do that, so I was like, okay, I'll just stop.
All right, that's part of your stream life right there. Okay, so going
Yeah.
back into your first like meetup and everything, right?
Hmm.
Um, talk about what like I guess expectations were because you're just from that time you're going from online to meeting people IRL, right? So it could
Yeah.
be a lot of emotions, scary, exciting, and stuff. And then you could talk about how maybe either you or everyone else was just like maybe the same or different in person.
Yeah. Oh man, it was just because I'm extroverted, I wasn't really nervous at all. I was like so excited uh to meet everyone. It's like I had a good feeling of how people's personalities were talking online
Yeah.
cuz I was assuming that they were being like authentic and stuff, which they were.
Right.
Because I've talked to them in voice chat and I've seen their faces. Yeah, I seen other than Hein. I think I didn't see Hein's face before I met him, but I saw him. I was like, oh, look at this guy. He's so handsome, so cool.
Biggest surprise.
It's the biggest surprise. Um, but yeah, I was not worried at all. I get. Do I want to talk? Maybe I'll come to that. But when I first met Hein, because I had his number. He's like, text me when you can hear him, then we can meet up. I was like, okay, I'm down.
uh,
So I texted him, and then the first time we met at like right outside the merch line, because he said, "Oh yeah, everyone's at these trees," but we saw each other. He saw me, and then he recognized me. No, you're the cutie, Hyde. Um, and it was just like it was more like surreal feeling, like oh my, I'm finally meeting you in person, because
yeah.
we had such good interactions like online, just messing with each other, being like bros online. And then we were bros IRL after that. So it was really cool with Hein. Then once I met up with everyone else, it was during Dabin's set at Hand Clouds. That's when I found everyone else.
Sick.
And yeah,
Sounds
and
amazing
I was
already.
yeah, I was surprised. Just a quick like off topic, but Davin, because it was it's like more pop festival.
Yep.
He threw a couple of bangers like dubstep heavy bangers. I was surprised, but and obviously he did play his Valorant stuff remixes too.
Hmm.
But I met them during that, and even though I loved Davin, I was like talking to them a little more than I should have. Probably, I don't know if they. It seemed like they were okay with it because they were like happy meeting me too.
Yeah, yeah. Of
But
course. Mhm.
the vibes were just like there, you know. It was just everyone's just like very nice, very friendly, very their greeting was like very enthusiastic. Everyone was smiling.
Must have been surreal.
Uh, It was so surreal. But it was also because after Crystal told me like they were like rolling, so I was like, oh,
Rolling. What's
but
that?
they
Hmm.
well,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, yeah, rolling on the floor, you know,
yeah. Dance moves
but
these days.
yeah, but yeah, what hindsight, just good vibes between
Hmm.
everyone. That's when I think, yeah, Ari, Jacob was taller than I expected.
Oh
Ari was
yeah.
shorter than I expected.
Okay.
No,
Keep
I'm not
cooking.
trying to be.
No, I
I'm
know, I
not
know,
trying.
I know. It's jokes. Yeah, yeah.
That shout out my cousin at Asian Assassin X.
Asian assassin, welcome in.
Yeah, that's my cousin. Um, shout out to him.
Shoutouts.
Yeah, that was the cousin I was with when I went to Head
Head
Clouds.
in Clouds. Also, your
So
cousin met the others too, or briefly
no,
maybe.
they didn't. No,
Oh,
they
okay,
were just
okay.
with our IRL friends, but they were
Yeah.
like, yeah, just go ahead, just go hang out with them, you know. So I still have pictures from that day, which is funny enough. Uh, but
It
everyone
was
was
a
still like,
2-day event, right? Was it?
yeah, it
Okay.
was two
Okay.
days. So I met up with them both days, and the floor was nice. What do you mean by that? At the
At the
festival?
festival, like, did he floor or something? Is that
It
what he's
was
trying to say?
it was great. I don't know. Oh, I think maybe because like the rolling. Yeah.
Oh, more rolling. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Dance moves.
Uh, that they after Davins when we walked back to the tree they were talking about, and it was getting close. I did leave the group real quick to go to J Park or with my cousin and our group,
Mm.
and we watched J Park together. But then after that, I went back, and that's when I met like Haru, if everyone remembers Haru,
Oh yes.
uh, Sandy. I'm so sorry. I don't know. Like, there's only some notable people
Sandy,
that I remember.
like Mango or who?
Yeah, Mango.
Oh.
Yeah, I actually saw her last year because she went to Decadence, Colorado, 2024.
Oh, she
So
told me because I saw her like 2 weeks ago.
yeah, I met up with I didn't meet up with her at Decadence, but I was being a good friend. I picked her up from the airport and took her to her hotel.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so she didn't have to pay for an Uber and do that sketchy stuff.
Mm.
So but that's when I met Sandy, Haru. Oh yeah, that's when I met after or like right before that was I met Eileen and Lynn, Eileen's boyfriend Locke. Um, who else? If I forgot your name and then you're in here, I'm sorry. But yeah, and then we took a group picture together the second night. Yeah, the second night, and it was just really cool, very fun. Just
It's a lot of
everyone
people.
was, yeah, everyone was a lot very nice. So that was like a big upside. I don't think there was the only thing that was bad about that was about like the Head in the Clouds festival. I can't really think of anything actually. I brought. It's hard to say because like the music was good,
Mhm.
the vibes were good, the people were good. Maybe because it was a little too hot, but then again, I don't get hot easily. The first day when I bought a Head in the Clouds hoodie, and I wore that during the day,
Mhm.
or the second day. I wore that during the second day, all the way up until the sun went down, and then I took the hoodie off, which was fun. So
I had a lot of core memories. It sounds like.
yeah, for sure. So upset that you weren't there.
All good. All good. Honestly, it wasn't like specifically my scene, although I know I could enjoy it, but I don't even remember what I was doing then, to be honest. I don't know.
I think I don't. What state do you live in again?
Well, I'm in Cali, but like the Bay
Oh, you're
Area.
in Cali.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was Cali or Nevada.
Mhm.
I almost okay, but
Um, yeah, so my question following up after like Head in the Clouds and then your decline on like with streaming and stuff, who do you still keep in touch with today? Like out of
uh,
the Twitch world, if you do.
I don't know. It's like B Dang. Shout out to you. That's one of my friends. I
What's up,
go
B
raid
Dang?
with him a lot.
Nice, welcome to the stream. Thanks for supporting.
Um, let's see. You ask that question one more time. Sorry,
No, you're good, you're good.
I got
So
distracted.
after like Head in the Clouds, right? And after your fallout with Twitch, basically,
Mhm.
like who do you still keep in touch with today, like from Twitch?
Oh, that's right. So more recent, because I started to see you on my TikTok page more, like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
I try to keep in touch with you. I think the person I keep in touch with the most is Eileen,
Mm.
even though she sucks at responding. Um,
Okay.
I try to talk to her. I think I talk to her the most. Let me look at my
Uh
DM
huh.
list from Discord.
That was unexpected, but that's really funny.
Yeah, anyone. Yeah, if anyone asks, they will say the same thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think that's
It's
it. I
okay, you're
tried to
friends.
keep up with. Crystal a little bit earlier at the beginning of this year. I'm looking. I didn't reply to her, but yeah,
Oh wait, you didn't reply, so that's your fault.
yeah, because I was talking about like how I started music again, and
Mm.
I just yeah. I think so. Most recently, still Eileen. Oh, most recently you, and then overall Eileen, and then beginning of this year was Crystal. I after Head in the Clouds though and such, I did talk to Jacob the most. I think on Snapchat, like we text each other a lot.
Yeah.
He's I remember I fell asleep in Bailey's car. If you remember Bailey Soderm, I
Yes,
don't
I
know if he's
do.
still if
Yes.
he still joined. I
Mm.
passed out after the second night, cause oh wait, okay, so I got backtrack. This was I don't think this was probably like the worst thing that happened, which isn't like crazy, but we all planned to go eat after Hen the Clouds, like all of us, but there was like 20 of us or something,
Hell
so
yeah.
we didn't we didn't know what restaurant was gonna take that many people at like midnight, 11 to midnight.
Uh-huh.
But I was with Bailey and then Jacob. It was just us three in the car. But I passed out in the back of Bailey's car, and then Jacob took my phone because I had it unlocked. And then he got my number, which was funny, and he just has it saved. I still don't know what his number is because he's never texted me. But I just thought that was funny.
Funny little story, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, I sometimes talk to Jacob. I think I talked to him like once or twice this year, but I should try to keep in touch with some more people. Like Hein, we were like during Heaven and Clouds, like I was with him I think the most, and we were like like you couldn't even tell like we that was our first time meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we took a funny picture. He was like on his head and he has his like leg split.
Oh, that's like one of his iconic poses. Yeah,
Yeah,
that he
it was
does.
fun, and I was just holding the legs.
Mm.
So yeah, but I need.
Oh,
eh, So I'll try to keep like Hein. I'll try to keep up with you more. Um, Wilson obviously, and then whoever else
yeah,
that
that's
I
actually
remember.
surprising. Like, I know that you stopped streaming and everything, but I didn't realize like you kind of stopped talking to a lot of people. But life goes on, and I'm sure like
Hmm.
it would be cool to say what's up if you see them.
Yeah. Oh, I'll say Ari too. Yeah, I did try to catch up with Ari and then yeah, because I was just talking to her.
Okay.
It was 2 months ago. Okay, yeah. Um, and then there was one more I tried to talk to. I don't remember.
Yeah, those are definitely all mutuals.
Hmm.
Okay, let's talk about the good old producing EDM music, right? So
Oh, the
what's
juicy
the
details.
what's the story about that? Like, how did you get into it and speak on your journey so far?
Yeah, so it all started back in high school. That's why the doubts came about like why I wanted to go to college and all that. But that the college was the plan B, quote unquote, or plan A, whichever way you want to think of it.
Yeah.
But it started back in 2016. It was 2016 was the end of 2016 is when I got into EDM. That's when Excision dropped his Virus album, and that was I don't know why I had listened to EDM before, but not like crazy until his album dropped. Um,
That's pretty early. Well,
yeah, my first show was in uh February March of 2017, Excision's show. So that's how I got into EDM. But then I was like fast forward a couple years later, I found out my other two other friends from high school also loved EDM. So in 2019, so that's when I started declining on the the game like the Twitch gaming with the friends. I started to produce music with them, and we have a couple songs together. Like, they were released on Spotify at one point, but we took them down. Just because it was like because it for we use DistroKid, it just costs a little bit of money to keep them up.
oh,
But
okay, I see.
yeah, unless like you paid in advance to like permanently have those up, but we didn't. Um, anyways, I started producing then with them. So we start off with like it was more like chill, like melodic, similar to like Elenium because he does like melodic dubstep, future bass slash like melodic house, but like very chill vibes. And if you want, I could send you a couple songs. There'd be files though.
Mm.
That's how it started because we started. It was starting with mixing first, actually. So the us three, we loved EDM. It was like the throwbacks that got us together, like Martin Garrix, Avicii. Rest in peace, Avicii, by the way. He was a really good producer. Um, and a Swedish House Mafia. So like those three were like the
Wow.
core.
Yeah.
But obviously, I wasn't into that as much anymore. I was starting to drift towards like more of that dubstep, the heavy stuff.
Hmm.
But it was still fun, like producing and mixing with them because we did mixes before, and one of them was like it was my friend. He was like melodic dubstep, and then the second guy was like that OG progressive house Martin Garrix style, and then me was like the more like hard stuff. At the time, it was like Skrillex, and some of Exige and stuff. So we started mixing together, and then we're like, fuck it, let's just start producing music and let's make some stuff that we love, and we did that. But it took us like 4 years, 3 years to 2 3 years to produce a song, or to produce like a couple songs and release the EP. So we released that EP I was talking about in 2020, but that's actually when I started to like quit producing. So, cause I stopped we stopped talking to each other, like us two. The guy I went sparring with, he was also part of that group.
Hmm.
Um, we were friends with this other guy, and that's when we drifted apart because he didn't go to college, but us two went to the same college. So we drifted apart. So we slowly stopped producing music, and eventually that just led to me like uh just quitting. But obviously I came back. But it was funny because like right as like senior year like ended, like during the summer, I had a little bit of money left, and I bought Ableton Live, which is a digital audio workstation where you produce music, and that's very expensive. So it was like, at the time, it was like, dang, like I just spent that money, but I'm not producing anymore.
Hmm.
So, and then I still loved EDM though. I just wanted to stop producing because I had those thoughts. Is like, man, it's so hard to like, it's gonna be so hard to get big, to get known. Um, and it was like I think back about it, it's sad because like if I kept at it, like where would I be now? But I know I shouldn't have those thoughts at
The
the
what
same time.
ifs, yeah.
Yeah. So, but then recently it was I still, like I said, I still raved. I kept raving. 2019 was like my peak year of EDM. I went to the most shows that year. 2019, it was like I went to like 40 shows that year.
Like all in Colorado, or were you traveling too?
Yeah, all in Colorado. Cause
Jeez. So you guys
yeah,
get a
like
lot.
cause yeah, Denver is the base capital, and like the hard stuff, like the heavy dubstep producers, DJs go there a lot. Um, but after that, like I said, 2020 is when I quit. But then, not until recently, the beginning of this year, February of 2024, is when I got back into music, and it was because this is so cheesy to say, but it's not just because of him, but he was the last reason. But Millennium's trilogy in Cali, I was watching the stream, and
Oh, in
my cousin,
February, yeah.
Asian Assassin, was there with some other friends, and I was just watching the stream, and I was like, I had so much FOMO,
Uh-huh.
but then this is what this song has like so much meaning to me now. It was the Disarm You remix by Millennium. He played that.
Ooh.
I've heard it before, but for some reason
Yeah.
that time I heard it, I was like, damn, I really want to get into producing again. And then I had my other friends texting that guy B Dang, one of our other friends, mutual friends. His name is Danny. Uh, I was told that he was like a DJ too, so that had me even like more inclined. Like, dang, I remember I used to do that. Cause like I DJ'd and I produced back in 2017 to 2020,
Mm.
and I just thought about it, and I just not an epiphany, I guess, but more of like a thought. It just hit me. I was like, wow, I'm just gonna start again. I still have the license to Ableton, so I could just boot it back up and get it. And yeah, from there, it was like, okay, now this time I'm going at it. I'm gonna make sure to stay on it because I'm not gonna. obviously I want to like become known and play music out like for people, like Subtronics, let's just say.
Yeah.
Obviously I would like to, but I'm not gonna be too focused on that. I want to be more focused on being happy that I'm producing the music because it gives me like that dopamine, that joy, like why I started producing in the first place. So, cause, and then the reason why I quit back then was because, like I said, it was hard. I was having those thoughts, but it was also I never put time into really learning it because I didn't have money. But now that I do, that I had money, when I started again, I was like, okay, I can go subscribe to like people's Patreon, like producer Patreons, um, and actually start to focus on more learning because I have more free time. Other than work, I have more free time now. So I started watching YouTube videos about like production tutorials and a bunch, and then I started really learning and actually digesting the information so that I could apply it to when I do it. That's all, and that's the drive that keeps me going because like I'm actually having fun learning, even though
Hmm.
it's stressful because like it's hard to you're not getting what you want sometimes. But I'm still new and I understand that. But I'm still staying happy because it's like I'm progressing at my own pace, but I'm like staying at it, you know. So I still have the motivation. Obviously, there are times where I do lose motivation to produce, but I
Yeah.
just take like a break from it, like a day break, not too long, but enough to like okay, time to get back to the studio.
Mhm. Okay, so wow, that history. I didn't know that you produced like
Yeah.
back then and then you had a pause. It's very similar to your Twitch story, like how you gave it a shot again.
Hmm.
Um, a lot of random questions I could think of, but
Hmm.
for you specifically, motivation is like very important, right? Key component.
Yeah.
Moving forward though, like what are you gonna do differently to really, really like hone in and just like stick to this, like to this grind and like keeping
Yeah.
yourself happy and stuff?
Yeah. So like building on from what I said earlier, like I want to try to stay happy, like while still learning.
Mm,
Um, and like what's driving me is like going to like these shows and stuff. Like I imagine like I get imposter syndrome, but it's like good imposter syndrome. I think of like, man, I could be there one day, and I could play music out for like people who like love it, you know. So I think the goal for me is like making sure that I'm happy with the music, but also like that I do it because I want to, not because like I have to.
yeah.
You know that because that's where like I think a lot of the bigger producers start to like lose it because they've been there for so long, they forget sometimes. Um, that you know not everyone's gonna love your music too. A lot of producers do understand that. I should say a couple. Um, but for me, it's like it pertains to more of my life. I should say, and what drives me to keep going is because like EDM was like a big stepping stone that like it changed my life, right? Because I got into it when I said 2016, 2017. It started to change my life because like there was no other music that was getting to me, attaching to me, like EDM did when I first like started to actually get into it. Obviously, like I love like the old Martin Garrix songs, the Swedish House Mafia, um, but not until I really like listened to it. Like I know I'm saying this because it's the dubstep album that got me into it, but I listened to it and it's just like, wow, this is really new. This
Hmm.
is really getting me going. That's I just try to think back to that like time like okay this music literally is like your life and I do embody like EDM like all the time which I know I annoy some of my friends with it
You annoy them?
because like sometimes because I talk about it so much right
Oh, okay, okay.
because like I
Yeah.
literally like without I would say it's corny to say but without EDM I don't know if like I'd be here or not
Mm. Not
because
corny.
like yeah it's because it like I said it was life changing for me
Yeah.
and it brought me so much more joy than anything or other than like physical relationships, anything else. So that's crazy because I think back to like this one time when I was producing with my friends when we started. It was we were recording videos for fun, and we were asking each other like, why do you love EDM? Like, you know, and that this is for me. This is the reason, and the same answer has still been there because changed my life, and nothing else has made me happier.
Hmm. Love that. There's passion and like history
Yeah,
for you.
yeah, that's the drive that's been keeping me going again
Mhm.
because I'm actually putting time into learning, and I'm actually enjoying that I'm learning it. Not it's not like it's school where I'm doing it just because it's I'm learning because I have to.
Yeah.
I'm learning because I want to, and that's like the big difference.
Dang, love that. Assassin, thank you for the
Mhm.
prime sub. I appreciate it. Thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
much. Oh, it means a lot. Thank you. Thank you. Um, yeah, so with your passion and stuff, like what would you say is the biggest difference, like the biggest leap you've taken since producing beforehand? Because you guys created an EP together with like the friends that you like worked with before. Like
Mhm,
obviously you've learned a lot and you're still learning right now, but what has
mhm.
significantly changed for you? Like maybe the style, the sound, like what details?
Yeah, for sure. There's so many details I could get into, but yeah,
Mhm.
definitely the sound. Cause like I said, when we made that EP together, those 5 songs are more. They were. I would say they're good. I was told by friends that they were good.
Mhm.
So I take their because my obviously I have a personal opinion that I will say it's good. Um, but I would definitely the sound because I'm making more dubstep related tracks now or like bass tracks, whereas that one was more like very chill, like close to like between lo-fi and melodic.
Mhm.
So if you listen to songs, you would understand what I mean.
Yeah.
Um, but obviously the style has changed because now I produce like at first I started with like super melodic dubstep slash future bass. Like if you remember 2017, 2018 Millennium, that's
Like
like this type of
awake.
melodic dubstep.
Mhm.
Yeah, Awake and Ashes. That melodic dubstep is what I'm going for. But now, then recently, just the past summer, that's when I started to learn more about like heavy dubstep, and I'm slowly trying to get better at that um, obviously I love both genres, so that's why I want to do it. So the sounds changed, and I keep saying, but the like what I learned because when I was actually producing with my friend, it was like I didn't know as much as he did. So he still produces now, and
Mhm.
I still talk to him every now and then. But he knew more than I did back then. But I should have asked him, but he didn't really like. I didn't really learn much from him. I was just saying like, hey, let's do this and that, because I didn't even know if any of the producers are in the chat. Like I didn't know what sidechaining was back then. So when I tried to make like a dubstep track back then, it was sounded so like awful because like I didn't have the techniques I know now to
Yeah.
do. So like now I'm actually producing the whole song myself. So that's something that's changed too from back then. Back then it was mainly him and then me like half the time and then the last guy was like the lyrics guy. So it was us it was like a good
Oh, okay.
team combo ish. Um but yeah, he definitely had he I think he has like not perfect pitch but relative pitch because he's really good at listening by ear, and that's why he created those melodies back then. And I had it a little bit too, but not as much as I do now. So that's like a key. I think a key skill is like relative pitch, but you learn that from actually learning what's called music theory.
Mhm.
And music theory is what another big thing I should say I learned from then to now is very important in music making, especially melodic tracks, right? So
Wow, interesting that you point that out. Yeah, I've heard about like music theory that you have to like kind of get into that before doing a lot. So,
yeah,
uh,
if you're doing like straight like heavy dubstep, you don't need too much of it. You should know at least like the bare minimum, which I did at the beginning of my like this year, did my starting journey again. I did, but then I dove a little bit deeper, and um, there's so many different things like about music theory that like a different key, or like a different note can change like how this whole chord sounds,
mhm.
and it could sound like more like happy or sad. I think that's like a big thing.
Wow. Okay. Aside from that,
Mhm.
you did mention that um you need to like invest into something. Like what were you referring to? Now that you have money that you said.
Oh, right. So it would first things first is the digital audio workstation. I invested more money to upgrade.
Mm.
Upgraded because it was Ableton 9 back then, but now it's Ableton 12. So I put in a couple more $100 to upgrade to the professional suite version. So that's like $700, something like that.
Jeez.
But yeah, so also using money to buy plugins. I know it's like it's not super needed because all the stock plugins are good enough, but some of these other plugins for producing, for making music, are a lot better than the stock. And I saw that when I was watching on people's Patreon, which also Patreon is good because you can get like artist samples and you can get production breakdowns. So that's good to if you want to learn as well. Um, but yeah, like so plugins, because the plugins are expensive. Like I think the biggest one I did buy it back then too. But it was called Serum, and that was like 300. And then now some of the plugins I have now, they've costed me probably at least 1,000 for all the plugins that I have. But like all the big producers up there, they have like a lot more plugins, and that costs like probably like 5K plus for all the plugins they have.
That's a
But
lot. Yeah.
it is a lot, but it helps. It really helps. It's a big difference between the stock and these plugins you buy. How
Mhm.
much of a difference to the sound it makes, and because it's like obviously you're paying for this more, and it does this thing better than the stock, or it does better than this other plugin. So having the right plugins also matter.
Okay. So you're into the realm of dubstep, and I heard you like
hmm
multiple times mention like you're learning from people, Patreons, right? Who are your current inspirations?
The biggest one is Virtual Riot, and he is like the craziest producer like that I know, like that I've seen so far. Like I know his songs sound like normal, but if like you
Mm.
dive deep into like if you listen to like these sounds and you watch some of his breakdowns or his like I don't know, he started a track from scratch. Like he's thinks of things that like are just crazy. And like I know producers usually do that, but with Virtual Riot, he's the one like doing the new stuff. Like he's finding new techniques and new styles because he's also creating like a lot of racks for people.
Mm.
Racks are like something you can download to put into your software that like pre-generated like with all the effects and stuff. So yeah, him. I'm also subscribed to a guy named Infect. Infect. If you guys know him, he's a rhythm
Rhythm,
dubstep.
yup.
Yep, rhythm dubstep DJ slash producer. He's also very. What he does on his Patreon is he does like 3 streams a month. One of them is just a mixing and an AMA stream, but the other two, it's one is like teaching, so like a master class, and the last stream is now he does like feedback. Sorry, so song feedback. So I've submitted stuff. I submitted one track to him so far
Yeah.
to listen, and that's helped me a lot because like what those producers have that smaller producers don't have is the tuned ear.
Mm.
So when he was listening to a song, he could hear stuff that I didn't know like I was missing or something that was like off. So when he pointed that out and I started to like list like do the changes for after and before, I could start slowly to hear it. But it takes time to like develop that, that's why like subscribing to like a known producer is good
Yeah.
because they give you good advice.
To help you improve, yeah. And as
Yeah.
long as you're like taking like those key words and stuff advice, then you're doing something good
hmm
with it.
Yeah, because it's also mostly constructive criticism,
Yeah.
which is good because like obviously they want to see other producers succeed too, so they're not trying to bash down on anyone. So it's really nice.
Nice. Encouraging.
hmm
Okay, so for you, what is the schedule like right now? Like how much time are you putting into this, and like you could talk about like break down what you specifically do, because I feel like there's different steps and maybe different type
Yeah.
of producing you do, right?
Hmm.
So what is that looking like?
Yes. So generally, what I try to do, since I'm usually tired after, because I half the days I go into work, half the days I can do from home, depending how busy it is.
A
But
hybrid?
yeah, hybrid. But I think it's after work, I try to put at least 2 to 4 hours a day, try to a day, like at least on weekdays, a day to like towards the music. So that could be learning, like watching videos, or
Hmm.
going to Patreons, watching videos that way too, or producing, or doing stuff with like mixing. Because when you're in EDM, if you're a producer, you're most likely also gonna be a DJ. So anything in that area. So most of the time, before when I started, the first like 2 months was me just like learning, watching videos, trying to slowly apply it as I'm like listening and on my digital audio workstation. But now I'm trying to produce more. Now that I have these more techniques that I know off the top of my head, that I don't have to go back to videos to remember, I can just do it like straight off my head. So producing, and and then if I have like a mini gig, like last month I had two small gigs for friends. So it was my friend's party. It was actually
Yeah.
B Dang one. It was at one of his parties. Um, so I had like a set list. I had to prepare a set list for that. I made some edits, and I started producing songs for that actual set. So, but those obviously I'll release those later. Um, and then the other one was like for my friend's boba shop event, candy making event. So that was fun. So
Oh,
it was just
yeah.
like, yeah. So yeah, it was just chill. Just so that event was chill, but the at B Dang's party, it was like I could go heavy and I could play
Yeah,
like
it got
what
lit.
I want. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, 2 to 4 hours with any of those.
Huh.
But now I try to spend like if it is just 2 hours and I only have 2 hours, I'll try to go learn something. If I don't, if I or if I'm not feeling inspired to produce, like there's nothing going on, or it's just like I don't feel like producing, then I'll try to at least go watch a video, um, or go to Patreon and like look back on streams that they did or videos that they've posted to see if like I remember it and I can apply it later.
Nice. Okay. What would you say is like the most stressful part for you right now, or most challenging, like currently?
I think the most challenging part is like I'm still super motivated, but sometimes when I'm like trying to sound design
Mm.
and the sound's not like what I like or what I want it to be, or if there's something off about it, that's like the most challenging. So like I'm working on a track like these past 2 days. I just started a new one, like a small like remix, and like I'm trying to like get this sound right, but it's like something sounding like off to me.
Hmm.
But it took me like a little while before I fixed it. But then I did a little bit too much, so then now like it sounds weird again to me. But it could be okay. I don't know. I might need some outside opinion.
Yeah.
Uh, that 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 gets me the most. That's what's like sound designing. That's like the hardest thing because that's where you find like your own signature sound. And that's how people start to get to know you.
Hmm.
That's where like I'm struggling the most. So.
I see. And so producing is one thing, right?
Mhm.
And where you're just kind of like messing around, figuring out your own sound and everything. What like aside from just putting your name out there, what's like the thought process of like posting on socials and everything right now? Like what also keeps you
Mm.
motivated to do that? Because I feel like that's already difficult itself, but then
Mhm.
to be on social media is like a whole other job for you to do, like to post
Oh
consistently,
yeah.
to like, edit that
Yeah.
nature. How do you
So
balance that?
that's aside from like music, yeah, that is probably like the hardest thing other than music, doing the music, just because um like you said, editing, uploading, and even recording takes a bunch of time as well. So that I have like if you pay attention to my TikTok, I have like there's weeks where I don't post anything just because I start to like lose motivation to start to record videos and edit them to upload
Mhm.
them.
Yeah.
And like sometimes like I would want to record, but it's just like I get too lazy because it's so much work. But I think I wait until I have something that hits me. Like recently, because I just did that set at my friend's birthday party. I recorded a lot of those. I didn't record it from the party because I was enjoying the moment. But now that I'm back home,
Mhm.
I'm re-recording like these transitions or double drops that I have. So that's what inspired. Like I need to post, right? So I recorded a whole time session to recording, and then after that, I put a whole time session to like editing the videos, and
Nice.
then
Mhm.
scheduling the post times on at least on Instagram. TikTok doesn't allow you to schedule a post. At least I don't think. I haven't seen anything. But on Instagram I can. So yeah, it's hard to balance it just because when you're a small producer slash DJ, you have to do like everything yourself.
Yeah.
Like other than just producing music. You're your own like marketer, your own
Mhm.
editor, own cameraman. So
Dang. Yeah, and you
it
gotta
takes a lot of work.
the consistency to do it.
Yeah.
Cause I remember like when you jumped into stream, we talked about how you were like into producing and stuff, and then I was like blown away because I had no idea, right? And then I
Oh
know,
yeah.
and then it was like a while after that. I think it was just like in the back of my mind, but then I think I came across your TikTok. I was like, oh shit, like
Oh.
it should be right, and it just reminded me that you actually like told me about that. So then that's how I like
Hmm.
followed and everything, and then just like we reconnected and all that, right? So I just hope that
Yeah.
you'll be able to like consistently do it and of course stay motivated.
Hmm.
Because I'm sure there's like when I look at you post, I'm like, wow, you're posting like quite a lot. I imagine how hard this is, and
Hmm.
like you
That.
have to be really dialed in and like happy doing it.
Hmm. I think what helps though with me with like I just did a bulk session, so I
Uh,
think that's what's gonna help me in the future. So I don't have to record every day. Maybe like a session, and record a bunch of videos. Like for that when I was doing like the mixing stuff, and I also want to tease a couple songs later. So I
mm,
recorded like 2 weeks worth of videos um to upload that each day. I think other than like this past Sunday, I'm gonna skip the next Sundays. I usually just skip Sundays just cause like rest day.
yeah.
But I try to post Monday through Saturday. But I have four like I don't know how many videos left. Maybe like 12 videos. So
Dang, I
yeah,
see.
bulk recording is
Literally
like
doing in bulk. Okay.
yeah. So that I think that's what's gonna help me in the future. But I just had to find like a motivation to go like record like bulk record.
Yeah. That's
So
so cool that
yeah.
that's your like your technique and style right now. Cuz like when I make content, it's very on the fly and it's not in bulk. It's just like the idea comes right now,
Hmm.
gonna make it right now and post it. It's just like immediate.
Yeah.
And then you're doing it for like the long term. So,
Yeah.
that's very neat.
And that yeah, it helps because then it gives me more time to like get ready for the next bulk recording to
Yeah.
how many videos I want to upload for like the next couple weeks or so.
Nice little
But
reset to think too. Yeah.
yeah, so uh, I think editing takes longer than recording unless I it
Mm.
doesn't happen often, but if I like mess up like mixing or something, I'll re-record it just because I want it to be good for the video. If I mess up in person, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's like that's the only other like the bigger. I think that's more challenging than the music itself.
Hmm.
So,
Okay.
because
Okay.
yeah, because social media nowadays is how you get like known. That's how people find out about you. That's how you start to get a following. So you have to have a presence, or else you might like. I don't like the word, or I'll just say you'll fall off because you're not
Mm.
staying like relevant.
No, that's honest.
Mm-hmm.
So question about your like presence on TikTok specifically, right?
Mhm.
I know you're constantly posting and everything. Like, what type of like people have you been engaging with so far? Like, what kind of feedback have you been getting? And I guess just like comments.
Yeah, so as since I'm still small, like I don't know if you know about but in TikTok, I'm stuck between like that 300
Oh,
view
the
range.
viewership algorithm thing.
Yeah, I think I'm stuck in that. But so most of the comments are from like people that already follow me, I
Yeah.
think. Um, but they're usually still supportive,
Mm.
and they're saying like, "Oh, this sounds really nice," or "This is really cool." Um, or I remember this one. I remember this one comment stood out to me, but I did it was like a couple months ago, but I did this one double, and this random person that I didn't even know. Oh, they said like if I heard this live, I'd break my neck to it. So I was like, that was really cool to see.
Big compliment, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of compliments about like the doubles, about like them being good and stuff like that. So which is really like good, nice for me because like obviously as when it's DJ time, we spend a lot of the time, or I was yeah, you spend a lot of time like finding like double drops or triple drops, and finding stuff that works together.
Okay. And one thing I really wanted to ask you about is or first talk about your single, the first single, Heart Waiting.
Oh
Like
right.
how did that like you create that? What was like the whole process like?
Yeah, that song, I actually started that like right after I finished learning how to like produce all the normal techniques of like melodic dubstep slash future bass. So
Yeah.
that was maybe back in May or April I started that track.
Yeah,
But
first single, right? Just to be clear so everyone knows.
yeah, yeah, this is my first single. If you guys want to listen to it, it's out on Spotify, Apple Music, all the major streaming platforms. It's called Heart Waiting, obviously by Shvmbii. And my friend sang on it. His name is on the like with the song. He's listed as Buffbach. That's not his name. I'm not sure if he wants me to use his real name on stream, so I'm not going to. Just to be safe,
All
because I
right,
didn't ask
Buff
him
Bach.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah, Buffbach. Um, but how it started was it was actually just it started as a remix for the song Lost Boys. Lost Boy by was it B Ruth? Like I am a
Oh,
lost boy
yeah.
from Neverland. Yeah. So start off as that. And I knew like watching from videos before, like you can start off a song by like putting new chords, chord progressions to already songs. So I grabbed the vocals from that song and I was just writing new chords to it and I found something. So then I was like, okay, I want to turn this into a real song now. And I was like, I need lyrics. So I talked to my friend. It was just crazy because like during the summer, it just happened, or like right before this. Man, it's I don't remember exactly when, but my friend texted me like, if you need anything, like let me know. I know like people in the music industry, which I can talk more about that later. Uh, but yeah, she knows like a lot of people, which is
Mm.
cool. But her husband's sister, which is also my friend, I forgot that she was also um in like she was a song. I forgot she did music everywhere else. She's a songwriter. So if you, I think if you look at credits, she's credited on there. Um, but I was talking to her like, hey, can you write me lyrics for this song? And she's like, yeah, I got you. So we called and we talked and we were working together, and then we came up with those lyrics. And I was like, dang, now I need a singer. And she wasn't really comfortable singing on the track, even though she has a great voice. I knew another person who sang, which was my friend Buff Buck, and like like I asked him, and he was really down with it. So I was very thankful for him to do that. Cause and then working with him, it was really fun, and he said he enjoyed it the time too. But it was hard because it took me like a month to get the vocals right. Cause that was my first time working with raw vocals,
Yeah.
and I had to do a lot of processing to it to make it sound like good. In the future, I know I could do a little bit better, but it's the first song, so I'm still happy with it. So. and that's like how it started. And then I changed the drop like a couple times. And obviously what you hear there is like the final drop is what I thought of, and I thought it
Yeah.
sounded very emotional, very melodic, and it fit the lyrics to me.
Oh, so this was completely made from scratch, and you guys like worked on it together, like at your house or something? Do you have like a recording studio, or how did
I
that work?
didn't. Yeah, so not it was other than it is from scratch because like I said, I only know it's the vocals from the Be the Roof song,
Uh,
Lost Boys. I just used the vocals. I created my own like chord progression. So other than that, yes, it's from scratch. And then how we recorded the vocals was since we don't live close to each other, and I don't have a recording studio or anything. So, and the best way to record vocals if you don't have a recording studio is to record in a closet, because it has like if you have a lot of clothes in there, there's no like natural like reverb from it, so it doesn't like echo in the recording. There was still a little bit of echo in the recording, but I made do with it and
yeah.
tried to work it out as best as I could. Um, but yeah, he recorded off of his phone because phone quality, like with phones nowadays, they're pretty good microphones
Oh
still.
wow, with the phone,
Yeah,
yeah.
so yeah, and if like you're really good at processing, it's you can make it sound like still really good. Obviously, if it was like a crispier mic in a real recording studio, it could sound like perfect. But you know, when you're a small producer, you don't have that kind of money for that, or you don't want to spend money to like rent a studio.
Yeah.
So it did the job and it worked, and it's like you love the song, I love the song. So yeah, it took me so long to finish that song, but I was like, after I finished it, I was like, man, I want to release it already. So
Yeah.
I think, but it was, I think I released it like 3 weeks after I finished it, but like still last minute. Yeah, I was still like editing some small stuff that I could hear, but it doesn't make too much of a big difference in the actual recording. But it was just to me, to my ears, because I was starting to get better each day. I listened back to it. I'm just like, oh, dang, let me fix that real quick. So up until like the very almost the last day, I still edited it, and then it went out.
Wow. So,
Yeah.
do you want to talk about what the song's about, like itself?
Oh yeah. So
Yeah,
not gonna
inspiration.
mention. Yeah, I'm not gonna mention any names, but it is based off of like some stories um about. So the song is called Heart Waiting, right?
Hmm.
And how the story came about first was we wanted to talk about, or I wanted to talk about like how an ex of yours like left the like you, and like you just don't you didn't like know like what to think because they didn't really say anything, and like because you kept trying but they weren't really communicating with you, and
Oof.
yeah, so it's very there's like a story. I'm not trying to like leave out I'm trying to remember exactly,
Yeah, yeah.
uh but it like hurts the person so much because like there's no communication there, so they were just left hanging,
Hmm.
and that you want to do stuff but you can't because like let's say like they blocked you, they just ignore you, whatever it is. Like it's very sad because like that's why like I decided to write the song about that because this was my first song, and I just went after at that time too. Like as I was writing the song, it's been it was like 8 months after like my last relationship, which was similar to that, but I
Hmm.
combined it with a different story of my friends who had something similar,
Yeah.
and like if you right before the drop, if you listen to it, the lyrics go like, "I'll be leaving with my heart waiting." So it's like your heart's still like waiting on them, but you're gonna leave it. You have to leave anyway because like they're kind of putting they're forcing you to leave, and your heart's still just in that position, just like I don't really know what to do other than wait because it takes time to get over someone, right? It takes
Hmm.
time for your heart to heal, and that's where like the story came from. So when I worked with my songwriter, she combined it with her story as well, so it's a mixture of like three different stories, and
Wow. The more you know.
yeah, yeah. So three different stories come together, and it created that song.
Dang. Okay. I dropped the link in the chat so you guys could check it out on Spotify.
Yeah, check it out.
You said you posted it on like all platforms. So like, how do you do that? You just like make an account and just like post it all at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. So there's the free distributor. I guess it's free plug, whatever. It's called DistroKid.
Hmm.
A lot of producers know about that, but since I'm not I could have sent it to label. I don't know if they would have accepted it. Um, but if you want to self-release, I think DistroKid's one of like the best places you can go. They help you. You have to pay monthly or yearly for it,
Mhm.
which isn't that bad. But you can release like an EP, an album, a single, whatever. But you select all the streaming platforms you want. So I select them all. The only one I think I don't do is Snapchat because I don't.
Oh,
Not
what?
sure.
I didn't even know
Yeah.
Snapchat had that option.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I didn't know either. But I just don't select that
To
because that's
add the song onto Snap. That's what you mean?
yeah.
Okay, I see.
Yeah,
I see.
yeah. But I did everything else. What was it like? Title.
Hmm.
SoundCloud's not on there, so you have to upload it yourself on SoundCloud, which is easy.
Hmm.
I also pay a subscription for SoundCloud yearly. It's called like Next Pro, I believe. And that, you can upload unlimited tracks and all that,
Yeah.
which is really good. If obviously if you're a producer. But yeah, and then other than that costing money, at the bottom of like DistroKid, you can see I selected this because I have money now. I selected the option where the singles permanently stays like uploaded on like under my name Shvmbii.
Hmm.
So that like if I do delete my or stop paying yearly, the single will still be there.
Oh wow, interesting. Didn't even know about that.
Mm,
Like how
yeah,
people post it all.
yeah. So
Um.
if you don't get to a label,
Hmm.
or if people want to just self-release, um, then they do that. But yeah, labels also take longer. That's why like you see producers they have songs like a year before like this they drop because that's when they make it, but they send it to the label and they don't want to release it till like 3-4 months later. That's but that's why SoundCloud is there because a lot of producers they upload their track early because it's always self-released on SoundCloud since it's not attached to any major streaming platform.
Yeah. The more you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was your first single. What's the next
Mhm.
like upcoming projects for you? Like when do you think you'll have like a second single, maybe your own EP or anything?
Uh,
Down the
I don't
line.
think I want. Yeah, down the line, I don't think I want to release an EP or an album until like I get with a label.
Oh,
But
okay.
but like all these singles that I'm releasing like now, I'll probably attach them to like an EP or an album in the future. So like my debut album is
Mhm.
with this label. But all the songs will be included, like what I previously released. But the songs I'm working on now, I showed you a sneak peek the like I think 2 of your streams ago. Uh, I'm pretty much done with that song, so I could release that
You're
one.
done with it? Whoa. Okay.
I've been working on that for 2.5 months. I worked on it for 2.5, 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I only showed you like a clip of it. So I
Yeah,
have the
that's
whole thing.
exciting.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So there's that. I think I'm gonna release that next. I'm not 100% sure, but I do have three. I'm working on like 4 or 5 projects right now. Like I said, I just started the new remix project.
Yeah.
Uh, I could give you a sneak peek if you really want. I can get you a clip and then
How do you
or I could just like share my screen or whatnot.
I'm curious, like, what's your mindset of like starting so many different projects? Are you just like very capable of doing that? Like moving on to the next before one's finished and then just going back to it?
Uh, I think so. I don't know if it's like just me, but I think it's a producer thing. It's like
Yeah.
because you get the basis because the most of the time the basis of the track is like the drop because that's where like most people like are anticipating.
Yeah.
Um,
Build up, drop.
but like, but yeah, it's always good to take for me. It's always been good for me to take breaks from certain projects because I'm listening to the same sound over and over again, and like I just need a break. Your ears need a break as a producer. But then, like, cause you already have this already played out, but then you get a new idea. You
Mhm.
start a new project, and that just keeps going and going. So that's why like a lot of producers you hear they have so many new ideas because like they like in dubstep especially they have so many new ideas like so quickly because they can produce just a build up. Build up is not too crazy. It's pretty the simple part, but then the drop, right?
Yeah.
They work on the drop the most, and then the intro and outro can come whenever. So that's why it's like it's easy, but it's easy starting projects, but I think it's hard finishing them
Mhm.
because yeah, that's at least that's what I see with like a lot of producers because like there's like a big I'm in the producing like I with other producers I see a lot of people like ask questions like man how do you finish this like ID um or like how should I go about this right and it depends like really what the producer wants but for me I want to have a story to the song no matter like if it's heavy if it's melodic but if it's melodic it's easier to have a story because the lyrics are the story for dubstep it's more like the atmosphere and like whatever words you could be using from the intro to like the
Mhm.
drop. So I want there to be like a small story to it. But it's hard to finish sometimes because you don't know what the final story should be.
Yeah.
So that's but I also saw a new project because of that, but also because like I said, the new idea comes and like you don't want to forget that idea.
Mhm.
So you just put it down and then you can come back to it later.
I see. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, for the song that you just finished right now, what can you say about it? Like the type of song it is, and maybe like if
Yeah.
you want to say the meaning or yeah, thought process
Yeah.
behind it.
Yes. So this song is called World of Leviathan. And how I came about it, like this was actually the song. So I talked to my friend B Dang.
Yeah.
He's like, "Do you want to mix at my party? Like, be the closer?" I was like, "Yeah, of course I'd be down." So it's like, "Okay, let me make a song for it. Like, I'm gonna make a super cool intro type of song. Like, obviously, I did have at the beginning. I had like, thank you for coming to this party, blah blah blah. But then for the final song, when I upload it, I have that out and have something else. But this song is like very heavy. It's like that old excision dubstep style where it's like
Okay.
very like those robotic noises. I remember I don't know if you remember the clip that I showed you, but it's that. So
As one of the
that's the
drops.
yeah, that's one of the
Yeah.
drops. Um I could show you like the first drop again cuz I was planning to drop it not drop the song but like drop another teaser next week on my like socials, like
Hmm.
a video.
Okay.
But yeah, it's really hard. It's something that I could see people like moshing to,
Yeah.
and yeah, just like it's like slow but heavy, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Cause it's a 145 BPM song, but not generally. So dubstep is between 140 to 150, usually. Like 140 is like most like rhythm or tear out songs. 145 is like middle. Then 150 is like the melodic future bass songs. Uh, and a lot of like normal generic dubstep songs. When I say generic dubstep, I mean like people who do the sustain drops with the quarter notes. So like if you know Lays, she does that kind of dubstep, 150 dubstep.
Nice. Lays. I know Lays
Hmm.
also posts like a lot of videos and stuff.
Yeah, even like she's already like really well known, but to
Yeah.
stay like relevant, even if you're up there, Excision does it too. You have to keep posting.
Very cool.
Yeah. But yeah, more about this the world of Leviathan.
Hmm.
Um what I want my theme to be for like the Shvmbii is about music. I mean not music, sorry. Of course music. About a serpent. My theme is like a serpent. So you know how Excision has like the dinosaur,
Dinosaur.
Wooly has a mammoth,
Mammoth. Yeah.
Alenium with the phoenix.
Uh
I
huh.
want a serpent, specifically a sea serpent called the Leviathan. So it's like my first heavy track. I was like, welcome to like me, the Leviathan, like my heavy side. And yeah, it's like the atmosphere of it is like very dark and eerie, I would say. And it's really not, it's really, I could send you the link and then you can listen from the
Uh,
beginning up until the end of the first drop.
okay.
But if we can do that at the end if you want.
Yeah. We'll do it at the end. We'll do it at the end. Yeah, there's a few
Yes.
things to talk about before we like close it off. Um,
Mhm.
okay, so honestly, I feel like with your passion of producing, like, and like me just like having random questions, we could talk about this for days. All right, so
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
we could
just
definitely revisit like some topics and stuff, and even have you come back
Mhm.
on in the future. Um, yeah, let's talk about some raving too while we're in
Yeah.
on this topic. I did
Yeah.
tell you that I wanted to hear about your Lost Lands experiences and stuff.
Yes.
So,
Dude.
briefly go over again how you like kind of got into like raving. Like maybe talk about like what you were like before versus now, and then talk about Lost Lands.
Okay. Yeah. So, before raving, it was when I 2016, 2017. When was that? Like, yeah, right as around high school started. So in middle school, um, I did listen to like throwbacks, like I said, the Martin Garrix, the Swedish House Mafia, all like
Yeah,
the what everyone knows, like Zed. Um,
that era.
start with
Yeah.
that, but yeah, but I only listen to it like normal, like not like crazy. So I also listen to like whatever was popular at the time. So like rap, pop, all that. I think other than EDM, 2009 was like the best music that wasn't EDM. So it was like you know, uh, Black Eyed Peas, T Pain, Usher, Soldier Boy, like all the classic songs, the throwback songs. That's when I really like liked pop. But then after that, it's starting to like oh yeah, this is just like whatever's music for me.
Uh
But
huh.
then like I said, when I got to middle school, I started listening to like the throwback EDM again more. I was like, okay, this is nice. I could listen to it on repeat. But then when I got to high school, it was boom, Excision Virus album. I found it myself. I didn't know Excision. Oh, the only song I knew about Excision before that was the Existence VIP song, I believe it was. Because it was very like dark robot, like heavy hitter, and I liked that, but I didn't know it was made by Excision until like later. Like so, but yeah, Virus album from Excision was the first like real album that I listened to that got me into it. Fast
Dang.
forward, yeah, that first show, I'm gonna talk about that first show. I went to Excision. The openers, I remember the first guy was Lumberjack. He still produces, but he's not as big now. There was Caspa, if anyone remember Caspa. These are old dubstep DJs. That's when I started to like branch out. Obviously, find out more other dubstep producers and DJs, and it was wild because that's when dubstep started to like come back again, I think, or like right after I got into it, like 2018, 2019 is when dubstep started to get back to like may peak again, except other than now, because I think dubstep was popular when Skrillex was making it. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously I like those songs too, Bangarang and the Cinema, the Benny Benassi remix. Um, but yeah, so fast forward a little bit. Like I said, 2019 was my peak rave year when I went to the most shows. And then I took a break in 22 for because of K-pop and uh, all that. And then I came back after that 2023. But like all these artists that are like blown up now, um, like Subtronics, uh, Ray Volpe, there's some other artists like I knew them back in like 2018 when they were still like openers, you know. So
Yeah.
now seeing them like headline is like crazy because I was like, oh yeah, I knew them before they blew up because I was in dubstep before it started to get like super popular to where it is now. Like
Mm-hmm.
I remember when like Wooly was opening up for Excision and like Dion Timmer, like when he opened up for Excision, like it's crazy. And then Sullivan King too, because he Excision also took Sullivan King kind of under his wing to get him in the like the dubstep scene, like in 2018 with his Apex album, that blew him up.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. So fast forward to uh that now. It was crazy because I've never been to an EDM festival outside Colorado until Lost Lands. because my first festival ever was Decadence, but then my first festival outside EDM, outside Colorado, was Head in the Clouds, which was funny. But then this is my first real festival outside of Colorado, which is Lost Lands, and uh, I got it. I wasn't planning on going this year, but
Uh-huh.
my it was I was like it was like January, right before I got back into producing. I was snowboarding with my friends, and my friend called and she was like, "Do you want to go Los Angeles?" I was like, "I don't know, maybe." And then she finally convinced me. I was like, "Okay, I'll send it. Like I have money now." So I just sent it. So I bought a ticket. I was already late buying tickets, so I was at tier 4 already, and tier 4 is like $550, which
Jeez.
isn't
Okay.
it's not that bad though if you think about like
Mm.
EDC, right? EDC tickets, I don't know, that's crazy expensive. But yeah, like I don't know, that festival sold out like from tier 1 to 3, it sold out in I don't know an hour. I think my friend said, or like yeah, something like an hour. So I was like, okay, we're going. Fast forward, we got our flights, we got our hotel, and then the day comes, and we fly. So generally, people go the day before on Thursday because that's when like the pre-party starts. But we didn't go until the morning of, so Friday morning, and we got there like we got there a little late. Uh, so what like they like going later. Like this group I went with, likes going later,
How
but
big
they
is the
also
group?
likes. It was only 4 of us or
Four,
5 of us.
four,
Sorry,
five. Okay.
five including me. 5 including me. And I'm not that kind of person. I don't like staying out late. I like going earlier to see the openers,
Mm-hmm.
and then I like leaving maybe like 2 a.m. is like the latest I would like to stay out. But during Lost Lands, I was out like way longer. So the
Uh.
first night, yeah, Friday, we didn't get there till like 8 o'clock, I think, which was like this festival starts at like 2 p.m., mind you, and then I was I was
Yeah.
already a little bit upset that we were late. We go late. So the next day, I was like, okay, I'm going by myself early. I'm starting my solo festivities.
Oh dang.
But when I
Yeah.
said early, it was I still had to wait because we got a hotel outside the venue, which was
Yeah.
in Columbus, and that we had to walk to the shuttle, and from our hotel to the shuttle was like 15 minutes, and then from the shuttle to the venue to Lost Lands was like 45 minutes. So, and then you had to wait in line too. And oh, I'll get to that in a second. But the first day, it was beautiful because like the first set I saw was Master Hand. If you know Master Hand, that
Oh
is
yeah. I saw them on the stream for the first time.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's their Lost Lands debut. But it's Sudden Death, back to back, Space Laces, back to back, Eptic, and you know those mosh pits for those 3 people already alone go crazy. So those mosh pits are so fun. No, not from Smash Bros. Um, but and I love moshing. That's part of the reason why I wear the mask. If you see in my videos, I wear a mask. Whenever I go to raves, starting from 2018 is when I started wearing that mask. That's
Mhm.
so it's been there forever, but it helps like get when I'm moshing, people get very sweaty when they mosh, so I get that small layer of protection helps me like get people sweat like not on my bare skin.
Yeah.
So that's very nice, but um so this year from Lost Lands, what I heard was last year it was a little bit better in terms of community versus like production. This year they stepped up their production, but it was also what was so sad about this year was there was a fire ban in Ohio.
Yeah.
Um, I talked to you about the end of the stream before I went, and so so that means there's no pyrotechs, no fireworks show. So this year they didn't have a closing ceremony, which was sad. I mean, I've only seen it live like on Twitch before, not in person, but it was sad not seeing one anyway. So because of that fire ban, what they did this year, they put a lot of people call it kitty litter on the ground, but it's a lot of just like pebble rocks, like gravel, and that made the whole Los Angeles so dusty. So I remember I say when I was like back at the hotel, I saw comments on TikTok saying like Dusty Lands or something. I was laughing because it was true, but I was so glad I always wear a mask now because when I brought the mask, I just like covered up my face,
Mm.
and I still got the wook flu from it,
Oh,
which which is crazy. I'll get into that. So first night, Master Hand. Then after that was who did I go to after that? I remember I left Master Hand. No. I went back because after Master Hand was Excision. So we went back to with the other group. I went back with the group because they don't usually mosh anymore. Um, and then we met up for Excision. Excision set was fun. I will say, I don't know if you guys watched the live stream of it, but the first half of it was like all dubstep. Then the second half, he did a little bit of dubstep, drum and bass. I think he played one hard style song, and he did a lot of trap, which which I'm okay with. Like variety and a variety bass and is what the meta or like the wave is in sets nowadays
yeah.
with the big producers.
Is that
But
like
my
considered detox set or which?
no,
Okay,
his detox set. I only went to like 20 minutes of his detox set.
got it.
But my friend, when we were watching that 2 hour set, she loves Excision. I'm gonna call her out on this, but she doesn't. She only likes it when he plays dubstep. So after this, during the second half, when he played like variety, she was getting upset because he wasn't playing just that heavy dubstep anymore. So I was like, it's just how it is now, you know. Everyone's like playing variety because it keeps like people like up in vibey. And like I said, it's the new wave. After that, we stayed until I stayed until like 2 a.m. So but the first after it's called sound camps, so they're like the artists who play after the main shows. It's the guy named Resurrect, if you guys know him. He's also heavy dubstep guy.
Yeah.
Um, During his mosh pit is when I got a cut on my eye. If
Oh,
anyone saw my story, yeah, I was in a mosh pit and I got a cut under my eye. It was like right here, but
jeez.
yeah, it wasn't that bad. It was just a small cut. But my other friend, her name is Sierra. It's a she got hit and she got elbowed really bad, and she got like a bump from it, and then she was bleeding a little bit from it. But then the next morning, it turned into a black eye. Mine was just like a small cut, so I was okay. I came out fine, but she came out bruised, which
Moshing. Uh-huh.
yeah. So if anyone else here loves moshing, they know like people throw elbows, and it's just what it is. But when that's why it's like it's fun. I get that adrenaline rush from it, and I know it's not for everybody. Uh, but yeah, we stayed until 2 to 3. I don't remember exactly. But then this is the worst part about Lost Lands, other than the dust. The shuttle lines were so long. I think it's like if you were like everyone's leaving, everyone was in line when we left, like at 3 a.m. So the shuttle line was maybe like an hour wait or something.
Jeez.
And yeah, we left at like let's say like 2:30 or 3. We
Mm.
still didn't get back to our hotel until 5:30. Like when we like get back in the room and everything. So
Oh
or 5.
no. Yeah.
Or yeah, 5. It was 5. But it was terrible because like you just wait. It wasn't fun waiting, but that I guess that was the upside to like camping because you didn't have to wait. You just walk back to your tent.
Yeah.
Um, and I think this year, I think it was longer. I heard from some people because this year they sold out. They sold more tickets to Lost Lands this year because they expanded it. Because before, I think it was only like 3 stages, three or 4 stages. But then this year they added that crater stage, that 360.
That was
And
sick.
if yeah, they didn't show any of that on the stream, but if you saw from like TikTok videos,
Mm.
that you had to be there to experience it. It was crazy because like phone cameras, unless you had like a 4K or 8K recording phone, it did not do those lasers
The
justice.
justice, yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was almost 360 for the floor, but they had like a little opening to where artists could walk through to the center. And that was honestly that was my favorite stage. That had the most artists for me that were fun. Um, What else was I talking about? The merch line. I heard that I wasn't there because I came there late, but the merch line on Friday was like atrocious. I heard it's like 3 hour wait for merch. I
That
think
is
it's due.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it's because they sold more tickets this year. I think last year, I think they had like 40,000 people tickets sold or something. This year, it was like 50,000 plus. There's a lot more.
Jeez.
Yeah.
How's the crowd though?
Uh, uh, like for the most part, it was good. It was like what the EDM community usually sticks to, and what I say, like it was Plur for most of the time, but there are some like it's always. I swear it was during Subtronics, whereas like people started like packing into the front and like not having space between people.
Hmm.
That's what I was there during Subtronics. So I left 45 minutes in because like even though I was near the mosh pit, I didn't jump in that because I just wasn't feeling it. But it was so tight for Subtronics. I think Excision should have left him at main stage just because how busy like how big Subtronics is already.
Yeah.
I think it's because he's doing a different kind of set. That he put him in. Um, yeah, but other than that, it was like mostly it's Plur, but I think it's because also it's become more mainstream, like raving,
Hmm.
and that brings when stuff becomes mainstream, it also brings like the wrong crowd, sometimes. And I did see some of those kind of people there, so I just ignore it because it's about Plur. It's about Plur. And then for people there's two R's to Plur. Peace, love, unity, respect, and responsibility. And what's cool though, at the end of the night, each night, at the main stage, they do, and the other stages when the whole show's over, they play like this cleanup song, and then they put like cleanup visuals on like the screen, and then people like pick up the trash. There are people who go pick up around the trash and stuff. I will be honest, I wasn't one of them, but to be fair, all 3 nights, I don't know why, but my friends were dying. The first one, my friend blacked out. He missed all the next season set because he drank too much. It was his 21st
Oh,
birthday.
wow.
Yeah, the second night, two other people threw up, and I'll just make sure they're okay watching them. I don't like being a rave dad anymore because, like I said,
Hmm.
I've been raving since 2016, 17, so almost, yeah, about 8 years, almost 8 years now. And I've, let's say, evolved from I was a rave baby for a little bit, but that's to my brother, and then I became the rave dad, and now I'm like a rave grandpa, I guess you could say. But I just want to do like my own things. So I want to like solo quest on my own most of the time,
Yeah.
which I usually do already, because any group I go with, like with that group, I go mosh more than they do.
Hmm.
So I had to leave because I saw your TikTok earlier, like solo questing on TikTok. Like, yeah, it's like when you leave off from the main group and do your own thing, either with yourself or with a small group of or small few number of people.
Yeah.
And
Side questing, solo questing. Hmm.
yeah, and I did that a lot the second day. The second day I went early because I wanted to go see openers, and they came later. They came like 3 4 hours later after I got there. So I got there at like 5. They got there at like 8 or 9.
Is this your main rave group that you usually go with?
No, this
Okay.
not anymore. So I used to rave with them like more often, but now I rave with because these are people that are non-Asian.
Hmm.
Uh, so my main raving group is with Asians, with some of them in the chat. So like my cousin and my friend Bidang.
Yeah.
I rave with them with a bigger group of us. So it's the stereotypical Asian train. There's like 15 of us to 20 at a rave usually.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Nice.
I know your groups are also like that big too,
I
because
mean,
Wilson Chang is
it's
popular.
random friends like that come together, and it's not like they know each
Hmm.
other all the time, but
Hmm.
it's cool. I know what you're talking about though. We
Yeah,
just have a lot of Asians.
yeah, we do. So I think
Yeah.
like that's I was surprised because there's a lot more Asians there than I thought. I didn't think
Grasslands.
there, yeah, I didn't think there was gonna be that many, because I thought I was the odd one out of kind of like most Asians, where it's like I like the heavy stuff more than melodic.
Uh.
But apparently not. I was like proven wrong. It was like I saw Asians everywhere, so I was really surprised by that. But I think I still am like one of those Asians who like rhythm like trance music more than others.
Mhm.
Um, but it's yeah, because I didn't see a lot of those Asians that like the Creator, for example. The Creator had more like that heavy tear out rhythm style, and that's the stuff I love more. Like obviously, I love like seeing Excision and Wooly,
Yeah,
which I was there for Excision back to back Wooly. That set was good.
it's the one that everyone wanted to see.
Yeah, I got up. There was no mosh pit on the right side, and we were on the right side. But after I saw videos, there was pits open the whole time on the left side. So I was like, well, next year I remember the pits are usually on the left. Um, but it's also to mention during that set, the last one of the last songs he played a double that I had already, like in the back. I was waiting to play it at the party, but I saw a clip. Wooly played it at Bass Cannon. I didn't even know that, but it was a "See You Drop" and "Lockdown," both of those songs together. I don't know. We could have found out at the same time, but he played it out first, and I didn't know until like that set at Excision Back to Back Wooly. So he played that, and in the video you can hear I recorded. I was like, no, my double that I found. People were gonna say like I took it. I feel like people were gonna say like, oh, I took it from him, but I didn't.
But you got
So,
proof.
yeah. I kind of like I had it in the bag for a while.
Huh.
Like I never played it out though because I was saving it for my friend's party.
Mhm.
Um, but it is what it is, you know. Overall though, Lost Lands was fun for me. Cause like I got to experience the Lost Lands, but I was told there's a lot of stuff that I missed, like the closing ceremony. Obviously the the fire, the pyrotechs, and some of the camp changed a little bit because they used to have these domes with a flame, and that was cool. And there was like a like I don't know what to call it. It was like a ritual spot where they had like I remember I saw a video of it too, but I missed out a little bit of that. But I would say if you do go though, just be wary. The shuttle lines, if you get a hotel downtown, the shuttle lines are long.
Okay.
Um, it can get packed at like after the main show's over, like it ends at midnight. The rest of the stages, the sound camps, those get packed because not everyone leaves too because they like afters, and those stages get packed. Especially the crater, the 360. A lot of people stacked up there. Like the last night, it was like filled. The whole like circle was filled, but so the people had to like stand on the outside too and watch it.
Mhm.
Um, but the afters are fun. I didn't try any of the. I tried only the fries there from one spot. The fries were good, but the food in there is very expensive.
I bet.
As like anyone would guess, yeah. Is
So
I
you'd
can't think
go
of any
again?
others. Yeah, I'd go again, but with a different group.
Ah,
Not
okay.
to. I mean, if they're watching this, like I'm sorry, but like I want to go earlier with friends.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't want to stay out as late.
Preference.
Even I ended up doing it anyway because like I just want to stay out with them. But
Yeah.
yeah, I was there like that second day. I was so tired. My feet were so tired. I stood the whole time from like 5 to what was it? Like 12, oh, like 1 a.m. Yeah, 5 to 1 a.m. I didn't sit down at all. And like I don't like sitting on the ground because it's dirty.
Yeah.
So I do the Asian squat, but that also gets tiring. So
So you were
just be
exhausted after Lost
yeah.
Lands. Sounds like.
Yeah, I was tired. And if you guys know what the Wook flu, I was gonna talk about this earlier.
Yes.
The Wook flu is basically when you get sick after the festival. So, like, what's crazy to me that everyone got the Wook flu Monday, right? When everyone's on the airport flying back, I
Uh-huh.
saw everyone have it. Everyone's starting to get sick. It didn't hit me till Thursday,
Damn.
so it hit me so delayed. Um, but we probably got the Wook flu because of all the dust. And obviously, like you're obviously out of energy, you drink a lot of alcohol, your immune system is a little weaker. Multiple things. The dust was the big factor for me because after the first night, I was already feeling it in my sinuses the next morning.
Mm.
Like my nose was all like runny stuff, and like felt like scratchy. 'Cause by the end of the when you go back to the hotel or you blow your nose out, you can see like it's like your snot is all dirty.
Yeah.
It's not like that. Yeah. It was very nasty. It was hard to breathe, except I had the mask, so it was a little bit easier. Like I said. Let's see. The third day though, it did rain. By the time we got there, it was like 7, 8. The third day, and the rain like helped it not be dusty at all. So
Mhm.
that was nice. And it rained like quite the almost the whole night. And when you're in the crater, when you're looking at the rain fall down through the lasers, it looks so pretty. I think it would have looked prettier with snow, but obviously you don't want to rave in the snow that. Uh, but it was really fun. Did you have any questions specifically about Lost Lands you wanted to know?
I think you answered a lot of it, and definitely just wanted to see if you would go again. Like if it's worth making the
Mhm.
trip, because that's like an investment, to go all the way out there. It's kind of like, to me, that's like East Coast of EDC or something. Just the fact that you have to put in a lot of like planning effort to get there,
Yeah,
and then the shuttles too. Yeah,
yeah.
but
If you get a
base.
hotel, but
Mm,
I do like the hotel because then, oh yeah, when you're at Lost, the internet connection there, I think maybe like at any other festival is pretty bad.
yeah.
Like your data. So, but what's nice when you go back to the hotel that you have data again,
What
which
was
is like
the? Oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
which is like the nice part because like you can
Mm,
connect to the hotel Wi-Fi or even like your 5G or if you have 4G, that works a lot better. So,
I see. I was just gonna ask, what was your favorite set if you had to
oh,
choose
my
one?
favorite set, it's hands down Murata, just because like all of the other sets are good. This is my personal opinion, so like don't you can come at me if you want. But it's because I love Tear Out, right? Murata's my favorite artist right now. He's my favorite song
Oh,
right now.
okay.
Yeah. And the reason why also is I love moshing, and the mosh pits for Murata always go crazy.
Mm.
Um, Meaning like during his set, I think there were like that I jumped into like 4 wall of deaths alone on each side. The pit stayed open the whole time. So, and if you don't know what a wall of death is basically you split it down the middle between two sides,
Yeah.
and then when the drop goes, you run at each other and collide.
Oh, what
So,
the heck? Brian's here. Thank you for the raid. Brian, you changed
oh,
your
Brian's
name,
here.
bro. Holy, welcome in, Raiders. I hope you had a great stream, man.
Woo!
Appreciate you.
Because it's Brian's here. That's why he changed it.
Dude, I love
It's
that. The name change. Yeah, we got a podcast tonight.
welcome everybody.
Featuring Matt, aka Shvmbii, episode 24. Welcome in, guys. All love. Okay, so
Yeah,
that was Lost Lands, and I
yeah,
also did want to ask you about Decadence. That's a huge one.
yeah. That's a big one that because you're going to that, and
Yes, decided that I am going to commit to that. And you've been to
let's
it already,
go.
and that's your city, right? So like,
Yep, Denver's my city.
give me an idea of like what to expect
Ooh.
and your honest opinions. Like honest opinions about everything. Like venue, whatever.
Yeah. First, I'll say yeah. I was gonna say first honest opinion. I hate that venue so much. It's like the worst venue, but it's like the only.
You hate the venue? Fuck. Okay.
Well, like you might like it though. I just
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
like
yeah,
the.
yeah.
I don't like the venue because like we don't have. But to be fair, Colorado doesn't have any good big indoor venues. There's
Mm,
only one venue. Oh no, there's like yeah, one venue that I would say that's worse than that. That's like about the same size. It's called the National Western Complex.
okay.
That place is terrible,
All right.
and I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it. Like it's like the layout is like terrible, and like it's Supernatural plays there. I don't know if you've heard of that festival, but it's like the Halloween rave.
No,
Um,
I haven't.
and it's all yeah Halloween rave in Denver. Uh, but yeah, we can ignore that since we're talking about decadence. Um, the I don't like it because of the location and the parking. The inside is fine. It's like I think it's normal, but because it's downtown, there's like no parking downtown,
Mm,
and it's hard to downtown just terrible. I don't like downtown also, so that doesn't help. But they do have their own dedicated parking garage, which is nice, but that fills up quick. Um, I parked there each year I've been there, so I've only been to Decadence for 21 to 22,
Okay.
and 23 to 24. So those two years I went. Both I went. Wait, I went both days, right? Or yeah, okay. I went both days, and let me think. Last year, I think the lineup was pretty good for the most part. I think the biggest one for the Asians was Dab the Sky.
Uh-huh.
Their set was really good. Um, but how like the venues are set, so the main stage, it goes like perpendicular to the other stage. I don't know if they'll do that again this year, but that's how it was.
So there's
So
only
there's
two
like a
stages.
there's only two stages
Okay.
as far as I remember. I don't know if they might change it this year.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think so because it's at the Colorado Convention Center,
Mm.
and what they do they split the wall like the so Fan Expo happens there, and Fan Expo is basically like Anime Con
Yeah.
in LA. Um, but it's a big room like upstairs in this place called the convention center. So you go upstairs, second floor, and it's a big open room. But then they split the wall down the middle. One stage is like against like this wall. I'm mirrored, so maybe I should do
Yeah,
this way.
yeah.
It's like this way,
All
and
second
then the other
floor.
stage, yeah, all
So
second
you're
floor,
walking upstairs. Okay.
yeah, or escalator.
Yeah.
But the one stage goes this way, it points like towards me, and then this stage it points towards you,
Mhm.
and the wall split down like this. So
Wow. Okay.
yeah, so I would say more of like the melodic housey is at the main stage. Cool. I don't know why I keep calling it but I'll say stage one, and then the second stage that's where more like the bass artists will be. So,
But it's
but
like pretty even, like they're both the same size.
mm, yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Um, maybe yeah. So like the first stage that one's like wider, I would say. The second stage where the most of the dubstep or the bass artists will be is longer because of how
Narrow.
they
Hmm.
put it. Yeah, it's a little bit more narrow, but a lot longer. And then when you get there, I think you'll see what I mean. But if you get VIP, the only VIP you get this, but to walk around to other stage, you have to walk all the way around this wall that what they put. But if you have VIP, you can just cut straight through right here in the middle of the wall to the other stage.
Okay, because my friends wanted to get VIP, so I ended up getting VIP. So, like,
Oh, okay.
do you think it's
So I think
actually worth aside from that part?
I mean for me, I wouldn't get VIP.
Hmm.
So for me personally, no for me because I like being in GA because that's where all the mosh pits happen. I think
Yeah.
VIP you get like elevated a section, and in some places the main stage you get an elevated section, the base stage, the second stage you get like a lounge area,
Uh-huh.
maybe elevated. I don't remember exactly, but um, it could be worth it if you want to more vibe and chill, because like that's what usually VIP is. If you like you're trying
Yeah.
to you like to have fun but you don't want to go too crazy. So that's why I don't care too much about VIP. I like being in GA because that's like I said where all the pits are.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's like one of the main reasons for me. Because VIP, it's either I don't know how venues at in LA or in California work,
Hmm.
but like here at the smaller shows, there's like VIP is usually like balcony for like the smaller
Yeah.
venues.
No, I
So
get
like
that.
yeah.
It's kind of similar. Do they have like VIP like entrances or bathrooms and stuff?
Oh yes, they do. Um, yeah. So the VIP entrances, they're usually a little fast, or not usually. They are faster.
Hmm.
Um, it's hard to explain, but you'll know where to go obviously when you're
Yeah,
there. But it's
yeah.
like
I figured.
near the backside.
Section. Hmm.
And that VIP entrance is close to like the water section. At least that's where it was last year. I think they keep it the same every year.
Yeah.
I don't know. The first year I went, I also got GA. Um, yeah, so you're by the water section, and then right next. Oh, sorry. There's three stages, I should say. right next to the water station is silent disco.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Okay.
Yeah, I almost forgot because I never go to silent disco.
Yeah, yeah. Me neither.
I feel like it could be a vibe,
Uh huh.
but like I don't know. Plus, listening with headphones is like I could do that at home
Hmm.
and like vibe with people at home too. But like when I'm there, I want to hear like the loud music coming from speakers too.
Yes,
Oh, do you wear earplugs?
I do.
Oh, okay. Sometimes I don't, depending how loud it is,
Hmm.
because the mask I wear when I have close to moshing, because it's usually close to the front. When I have that mask on, it masks enough like decibels where I don't need to put earplugs
And
in.
it's still enjoyable. Yeah.
Yeah. The only time I had to do it was actually at Lost Lands. The only time I did was during Murata,
Hmm.
because since it's tear out, it's supposed to be loud and like obnoxiously loud. So that's when I had to put the earplugs in over my mask. So aside from the venue at
Hmm.
Decadence, like I said, it's downtown. Last year it wasn't that cold. It was cold, um, but because I'm from Denver, so for you it might be really cold
Yeah.
since you're from Cali.
Uh huh.
But when I was talking to Sandy though, she came last year, and she said it wasn't that cold for her. She said this feels like this is like nice, cool.
Yeah.
So you guys are two
But it's
different bodies.
indoor though, right? So it shouldn't
Yeah,
be too
the
bad.
venue's indoor, but when you're there, just like going to the venue, it might be cold.
Yes. Got it.
Um, the first year I went, it did snow, so driving in that wasn't fun. Um, but last year it didn't snow, so if it does, are you Ubering to the venue or are
I think
you have a
either that
hotel
or
close,
rental. So like the hotel's close actually. No, the hotel's close.
so you might walk?
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see.
Okay, just be wary since it is Denver. It could snow. Denver,
Hmm.
we're known to have like bipolar weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, so one day it's sunny, and then the next day it's automatically snowing.
Okay.
So if you want, you could be safe and bring like a little bit of, like heavy wear clothes, like a little bit warmer clothes. Um, I don't know what you usually wear to raves, but
Just like a passion
uh,
tank is like a good day.
oh yeah, I you could do that too.
Yeah.
I see people do that at Decadence, so even though it was like snowing outside, I've seen people just because
Hmm.
girls in Denver are also great because like even though it's snowing or it's just like super cold,
Yeah.
because like when Millennium used to play Red Rocks, um, like this one year it snowed Thursday, so that show got canceled. But then Friday it was still really cold, so and I still see like girls and guys like coming like like their half naked outfits like the fishnets and
Hmm.
shirtless and all that. And I don't know how they do it because
Built different ravers.
I know even I live here, but I don't stand the cold that like crazy.
Mm.
I wear the same thing to raves all the time, so it's always like a long sleeve jersey, pants with zippers, to help
Yeah.
for. I was wearing like the zipper pants even before like phone thieves started becoming a thing, which is crazy. Oh, moving to my next point what I- for as far as I'm aware of, for most of the time,
Hmm.
any like raves in Colorado, I haven't had any like pickpocketers or any phone thieves. So
So you don't hear
I would
much about
still,
that.
yeah, not in Denver. I think the plur community is strong in Denver for if like you're in it niche, like very in it.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Decadence is different though because like it is just like a New Year's rave, and a lot of people just go to party, like
Hmm.
non-ravers. So last year it wasn't bad with like any phone thieves, but this year it could be different. I would still be wary, but it hasn't happened that much
Okay.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think you have to worry too much about it, but always be safe.
What are the like hours for decadence, like set times and stuff?
Oh shoot, what time does it
Yeah, what
usually
time
go
does it
to?
start and end? Since it's gonna cross
I
through New
think
Year's, so it should be
yeah,
after 12.
last year I believe it ended at like 2 or 3 a.m. I don't remember exactly,
Okay. Okay.
cause or maybe 2 a.m. Cause 12 to 1 was like for the first night it was Skrillex. or was it Skrillex? Man, I don't remember last year's lineup. I usually have a good memory, but I remember, or was it? It was either Skrillex or Ganja at like that second stage. So during that, it was really packed. By the way, during Skrillex.
Hmm.
Oh man. So if any like, I think during Millennium Slander, it'll be super packed.
I bet.
It's the new.
No, it's gonna be crowded, but I might be in VIP for that one. So
Oh yeah, but yeah. This is the Denver version of Asian migration.
yes, yes. Still looking forward
I
to
don't.
it. Like it sounds like it'll be fun. The lineup's
Yeah, I
crazy.
think. Yeah, the lineup's crazy. The people here, raving, they're all like really cool.
Okay.
Like I would say the ravers. I can't
Yeah,
say anything
yeah,
about the
yeah. You
non-ravers.
can't say for all.
So yeah, but like everyone's really nice, very kind. You see a lot of, like I said, plur,
Mhm.
which is like beautiful to see. Cause like I said, in Denver we are like the base capital, so like at the heavy shows we're moshing like all the time almost. But like with those people, if you do get there, like everyone's still very friendly, and not many people. I do see it sometimes, like at some shows, but not many people take it personally because they know it's like for fun.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the big thing about moshing. If you're gonna mosh, make sure not to take it personally because it's just for fun. But the same etiquette still apply. If someone falls, pick them up, like surround them so they don't get stomped on. Um, and that happened at Lost Lands too, which was why like I I don't like being like that person that says it, but I think the plur community within like the bass community, like the dubstep community specifically, is more plur than like other genres. I would say. I could
I
be
hear
wrong,
that a
but that's
lot. I really do hear that a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think yeah they follow it more, but like I said, I live in Denver, so I'm around these people a lot,
Mm.
and it's funny. Like people you've never think would rave actually started raving. Like a lot of my old friends from high school, they started raving after. Like I was like the first one.
So
Like
you
I
would
late
see
picking for
them
that in.
around now.
Yeah, I'd see them around.
Nice.
Um, yeah, but I would say for decadence, I don't know. What else would you? I don't want to. Obviously, I don't want to spoil like what the New Year's drop is gonna be like. But I would like the visual show isn't like super crazy.
I heard the like decor and stuff like isn't that good or like
Oh,
don't have
really?
high expectations.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's not as crazy as like I've never been to Countdown. I've never been
Right.
to
Like EDC and
Decadence,
stuff. Yeah.
Arizona. Yeah, so I can't really say on that. I will from videos I've seen from those festivals comparing to Decadence.
Mm.
It is not as crazy because it is indoors. So
Yeah, yeah.
there is like some sections with like cool lighting and stuff that you could take pictures of. Like there's I don't know if you've seen any pictures from Decadence, Colorado, where people take photos.
Not
Those are like
much. Hmm.
oh, there's these certain spots I'm talking about. So like there's a stage, and then over here could be like some cool like lighting stuff, decorations you could
Like
take
people
pictures
take
with.
pictures, yep. Okay.
Yeah. Um, and then for as far as like stage design decor, I would say it's pretty simple. On the roof, you'll see some like cool like lighting strips. Not like they're like big tubes that just light up. So
Okay. We'll see it when I'm there for the first time.
yeah, I don't like I could be wrong because they could change it this year, but from the
Uh-huh.
past two times I went from 20 that first time 21 to last year,
Yeah.
it was about the same.
You excited for this year then?
Oh yeah, I didn't plan on going until the lineup dropped, and then I was like, my friends were like, "Oh, we're gonna go." I was like, "Okay, I guess I'm going too then,"
Definitely
because I
gotta
saw a
meet
lineup.
up.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, we will meet up. This is it'll be crazy because like I feel like I should have met you before,
Uh
because
like
like
2 years ago or
well
something.
like other than like Head in the Clouds, I think
Yeah, yeah.
I think we could have met like at another rave or something.
Hmm.
But like I said, I didn't go to EDC. I know you did, but I
Coming to
do.
your
You went
city.
to. Yeah, you're coming to Denver. Yeah, it's crazy. Um, base capital though. Would you agree that Denver is the base cap, or do you think
I didn't even know it
somewhere
was the
else?
base capital. I didn't even know
Oh,
there was like such title.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's well. I mean, you listen to this like heavy dubstep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, when it comes to bass music, like dubstep, I guess trap too. Um, like hardstyle, drum and bass. I think Denver is the bass capital for the United States,
Hmm.
and I think for Canada it's Montreal. But between the two cities, like for the world, like it's between those two cities. There's a lot of talk recently. It's
Okay.
like Denver versus
Good to know.
Montreal. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, last question about like at least Denver. What are your thoughts about the elevation? I mean, you're used to it, but like, what have you heard from other people?
Oh yeah, that from what I've seen from other people, because we are like higher in elevation. We're
Yes.
a mile up. That's why we're Mile
Mile
High
high.
City.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It can, depending like how your lungs are, um, it can get hard to breathe. I've seen people like pass out, like not pass out, but like slowly like get dizzy and stuff
Yeah.
because the elevation change. I would say just make sure you drink a lot of water, stay hydrated, and if you're gonna go crazy, just make sure there's someone there with you that can take care of you
Yeah. Pace
if
yourself.
something does happen. Pace yourself, exactly, because like other than raving, like there's other teams, like let's say for like sports that come here and they play here, like football players.
Yeah.
It's hard for them to play with like our air because it's harder for them to
And
breathe.
basketball, from what I heard. Yeah.
Yeah, so and that could be the same thing with raving if like we're jumping all the time and
Hmm.
like headbang and moving a lot. So
Good to
yeah.
know. Yeah.
Oh, also, when you land from DIA, when you're leaving the airport,
Mm.
if you look to the left as you're leaving the airport, you'll see this big Bronco. So there's like some evil theories about it, but it's like a you'll see it's a blue
Okay.
Bronco.
When I see, I'll know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, but when you leave, you'll see its eyes and it glows at night. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. I'll keep you post or like updated about like my
Hmm.
decadence plans and stuff. That's like at the end of the year, so
Hmm.
yeah, we'll come by fast though.
Yeah. Have you bought your plane tickets and everything?
Everything except I think hotel. So gonna figure everything out soon.
Okay.
Just tickets are
Yeah.
expensive, man. Like the VIP tickets are
Oh,
expensive. The plane
yeah.
tickets, it's a
How
commitment right
much?
here.
How much were the VIP tickets again? Like, well, how
Well,
much did you pay?
I got tier two, so I was like 440.
Wow, you see that's lucky though. Yeah, that's good because like I swear, did you buy like VIP like early, like within 10 minutes of it being on sale?
Well, my friends got it like for me because they were like, yeah, trying to race against everyone to get it.
Yeah, it's I swear. I was talking to my friends. I was working, so I couldn't like log
Uh,
in to get my tickets.
yeah.
But from GA 1 to 3, it sold out in like 10 minutes. It was tier.
Oh, so
It was
tier
two.
four. How much was tier
What?
four?
For GA tier
Yeah.
4 was 355, I think. That's how much I paid
Oof.
for 2 days. Yeah, it's not ideal, but
Okay, yeah. At least you got tickets.
yeah. So like you for $100 more, you got the VIP.
Yeah,
So
that's one way to put it. Like if you compare it like that.
yeah, VIP
All right.
should have a fun time.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see until then.
I know. So I know that was your last question, but
Uh, yeah.
nothing else came up, right?
That specifically, because like I do want to keep this at like a certain amount of time, so that's why I would
Yeah.
love to have you again for like a part two. Because we honestly talked about a lot, but there's also a lot I haven't covered.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, there's just a lot to talk about in life.
Yeah, of course it
So if you're
always
ever
is.
down to like make a comeback for part two, where I'll have the other questions for you, I'd appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to come back.
Okay.
I feel like I should ask you more questions too next time.
No, you definitely can. You can. We'll save it for that
Yeah.
too. Do you have like the snippet you want me to share for the
Yeah.
end at least?
Yeah. Here's that link. I don't have a clip of it, but if you can, or if you want to, you can pause it after the first drop.
Okay. Okay. So I'll
Well,
pause it.
actually, I've shown you the first drop already. If you want to skip to the second drop, we can listen to that one too. Which one do you want to listen?
We'll just do the first one because it's not like everyone got to hear it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Just play from. You can play from the very beginning intro to the end of the first drop.
Okay. So after the
Yeah.
first drop, and then yeah, before that I play that. Do you have like a few words you want to say to everyone that's been watching? Kind of like a mini outro because you will be back.
Yeah, we'll be back. Oh yeah, what Finum said. Part two after decadence. We both talk about it too.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
That's a
that'd
good
be
idea.
3 months, probably at least 3 months. Um, yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed learning more about me. Shout out to everyone who came in and watched the podcast and listened. Uh, it means a lot to me, and it means thank you, Wilson, for having me on, because it gives me, I guess, more like presence online too. And
Hell yeah.
if yeah, so thank you all. And if you guys like, stream my song "Heart Waiting" on Spotify or Apple Music, and then check me out on Instagram or TikTok as well. And it's just spelled Shvmbii, how it's spelled in the title, SHVMBII.
Yes. Drop him a follow. I got the TikTok link specifically, so you guys could use that.
Yeah, and then on there, I on my profile I do have it. It's not an official link because TikTok doesn't allow it, but there's my Linktree link. If you copy and paste it to the browser, that brings you to all my other pages.
Hell
If you want to
yeah.
click on that. So
Thank you, Drew.
yes, thank you, Drew.
Okay, well,
Very supportive.
yeah, I guess I'll close this off at least, and then I'll switch it to the other scene. I'll play the song, once like you're off too, and then I'll end the stream from there. We will have a part two, so be on the lookout for that. You said you wanted to use clips from this podcast. You definitely can. So feel free to do so. I'll post it.
Yes.
I'll post the VOD up and I'll post it on YouTube.
Let's go.
Okay.
Shout out to Wilson. Everyone follow and sub. If you have the Prime sub, you can use it on Wilson.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate that. But this
Hey,
has
thank you.
been the Chat with Wilson episode 24 featuring Shvmbii. Let's go. Thank you, brother, for being here.
Yeah.
Keep in touch,
Thanks for
all right?
having me. Yeah, we will. I'll
All
see you
right.
at Decadence.
Yes, sir. Have a good night. Thank you guys for watching. All
Thank
right.
you.
Peace
Yes,
out, brother.
everyone, have a good night.
It is now time for you to go even crazier than you ever have in your life.
Guys, hear this.
You're wondering why? Well, let me tell you. Let's start with welcome to the world of serpents. The leader of this world goes by the name of Shvmbii.
Shout out to Shvmbii. Thank you, Matt. No, thank you too, dude.
Welcome to the world of Leviathan.
Jeez.
Welcome to the world
Okay, well, that was basically the first drop, like about half of it, and then oh, while I rate out too. Thanks for watching, though. By the way, guys, make sure to like and subscribe if you guys are watching on YouTube. By the way, guys, thank you.